Hey, welcome to Fat Kings Friday. It's for the day of July 18th. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. Welcome to the show. We are having technical problems. We'll be right with you. We're going to post the link shortly.
Yeah, sorry, that's my fault. We go from like 40 viewers to 0 viewers.
That's all right, because I'll post it in the other one once you get the link up on Fat Kings. I'll post it.
Okay, well, no, I just posted it, so it's on Fat Kings now.
Okay, I'm refreshing.
And I can actually chat it to you as well.
Refreshing. Oh my God, it's not there.
No, it's there.
Now I'm going to take this linky link. I'm going to go over to the comments and go here.
Let me just make sure that that's the right one.
It is, because I hear Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger's in my ear. Fucking asshole. All right, hang on a second. Go here.
I'm getting message. Where do we go? Where do we go?
You just scream with everyone, TJ. Tyrone.
Java.
We're live, so this is all being recorded. Don't mess with the name.
It's okay. This is the normal high quality intro that they expect.
We were so well put together. We did pre-announcement. We had everybody sitting in the room, but between 4 of us, Gooch was so busy reading comments that he didn't notice that was on the wrong fucking channel.
Doing his hair.
And then yeah, he's doing his hair. As you guys might notice, Gooch looks a little younger. That's not the hair I'm talking about, but yeah.
Oh no, this was done last week.
I talked to you yesterday. Don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah, you lying sack of monkey shit.
Wow.
Right, so.
And it start. Okay, hold on. You guys, I'm sorry that we're up to a slow start, but I'm getting the links out to everything. Let's see, share.
Nothing like building it up just to screw it up, Tyrone.
That's what I do. I do all that foreplay, get you all excited, and then I can't get my cock hard. So.
It happens.
You know, I'm sorry. I know somebody who knows somebody.
I know someone who knows someone.
We got a hook up for that. We got a dealer. I'm thinking actually about becoming a dealer. I think I'm gonna get a script because I never use it around here, and I'll get a script and I'll just sell them off.
But you use it other places? Is that what you're saying? I never use it around here. But...
Well, I use it when I go to the gym. When I'm just walking around the gym, I like to be hard everywhere. You know.
I think it's whenever you're in the locker room. You know, whenever you get in the jacuzzi, you like it just to be kind of popping out like a shark fin.
Well, a lot of the managers are men, so you have to make them feel attractive so that you get promoted. You know, I'm like, you know, it's a tease. You know, just a little tease for them.
Jamie, she messaged me or he messaged me. I don't know which it is, but there's nothing there. That scares me. How can you message me with nothing? Don't message me with nothing. Okay, hold on. I gotta post to the back to
if you can't click on a link, we can't help you. There's all there
No, dude, this is like my 8th drink. I had to really get ready for this show. I had to be in the proper
I did
time.
Too.
In the zone.
I was not. I had to have a counseling session last night. I had to buy a 5th of whiskey.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you introduce our guests while I'm doing this?
Okay. Well, in case you don't recognize the faces. There is an icon of the community here with us tonight.
That's right, Gooch Monster.
Other than less of Sarah.
Not me.
And then there's a Johnny come lately to the community as well, whom has ridden the coattails to the highest point at this point, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. I mean, talk about the long play. Like if you did this as odds in Vegas, this shit would pay like $2 million to 1. Nobody.
They do. I mean, there's the short con, and then there's the long con.
There's the long con.
And I can tell you that Gooch Monster knows how to pull off the long con.
And that's about all that he knows how to do long. But that's okay, because it paid off anyway. So we have the notorious and infamous Gooch Monster with us tonight, too.
Wow.
With his doohickey. He's never seen up the doohickey. He should get fucking advertising royalties for that fucking thing, for starters.
It's
name on it.
It's him and what's his name? Who's the other guy that doesn't have a job?
Whoa.
You know what? Gooch is the kind of guy that's he would probably
Casper Van or the fucking the dude. Who the fuck am I thinking of? He was in
I don't know. This is what you're thinking of actually. Gooch actually contacted the people at OH to set up his own booth to give out autographs and sell merch.
That's right.
He's going to sell merch there.
I think what he does is he's actually signing electronic cigarettes. It's not Casper Van Dien.
He's going to sell a shit ton of them because people are like,
Yeah, but hold on. We need to figure this out. He was in Blade. He was in
Wesley Snipes?
Felon. No, he was in
Reynolds?
too. No, what the fuck? No, the first one. I'm not talking about the third one where nobody watched.
Third was the best one anyway.
I own them all.
Is it Casper Van Dien?
Maybe the blonde dude.
No, he's not the guy from like One Tree Hill or whatever the fuck. This guy. Oh, fucking hell. IMDb it, somebody, and tell me who I'm talking about. But anyway, he's doing the blue commercials. He's doing
I'm gonna set up a friend tasting booth at OH.
Oh, it's is it Steven Dorff?
Mm-hmm. There you go. So you and Steven Dorff, the two unemployed fellows, are pushing e-cigarettes.
Yeah, but mine is cooler than Steven Dorff's.
And he'll be signing them at OH in his booth. So, and after tonight, you're going to want one. You'll see. You're about to find out. It's
You'll
not.
see.
It's not pretty, but
you
it's
know what?
true.
We have to wait a little bit because we want to make sure everybody's here. I know people are
I
coming
didn't say
late and we fucked up, but well, I gotta make sure I posted the fucking links right, and my brain ain't working. Okay, let's see. Anybody who's on TJ's page is going to the wrong fucking place. Just so you guys know.
I'm
Which
put,
you're
if
not
still
here.
You can't read.
Let me share it too.
If you're here, you are not reading the comments with the rest of us. What is it? WLS Addicts, right?
I'm closing that window, so you're shit out of luck if you're still on the other page.
WLS Addicts.
What the hell is wrong with you? That's what I have to say.
A lot. Okay, that one's good. Hold on, let me post to the TJ page and then we'll get started. So anyway, let me just bring up one thing here. And I want to get your guys' view on this. So this is obviously is not part of the announcement, but there's two things that are really starting to piss me off on Facebook. One, obviously, which I'm sure everybody's seen, is the picture of the guy with all the tattoos and the big pucks in his ear, says cannot get a job, blames the government. That is a form of fucking discrimination. I know you guys think it's funny, but if I put a black person up there, or I put an overweight person up there, or I put some sort of handicapped person up there, and I said the same thing, people would fucking explode. So why is it okay to do it with a tattoo and pierced guy?
Does he blame the government? Is it a
No, he's actually he's actually employed. He's an employed guy, and he never gave consent to even go on that man.
He should sue. That's simple.
No, he shouldn't sue, Phil. Okay, the rest of us don't sue for fucking everything. We're not all Republicans, all right?
It's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with individual liberty.
Yeah, I understand what it is, though. It's because people see that as a choice. Like, you don't choose to be
You choose to be
minority.
fat.
You don't choose to be, well, maybe.
For the most
And if you're a Christian, you choose to be the color you are, too, because you come back.
Or Christian. Let's say that I put a Christian up there,
right?
And I say, oh, blah, blah, blah. You choose to be a fucking Christian. But if you were discriminated against...
I'm just saying that's why people feel like it's okay to discriminate, because they feel like the person is making a choice. I don't feel that way, but...
Right. No, I see what you're saying. You're playing devil's advocate. That's pretty, like... That's kind of harsh of you as a Canadian to take such an approach.
Hey, we all grew up fat. We know that there's discrimination. Next topic.
Well, no, here's the thing is that I would think, and especially in the weight loss communities, people who've been ostracized quite a bit, that they would be more understanding and accepting of those that are different. But no, they're extremely hateful, and I was just surprised by that.
So Brad, I'm going to pick on Brad. Brad, you're new, so you get it. This is a loving embrace of welcome, for starters. Welcome. Wait, welcome.
Brad or Brad? Or Brad? Brad.
Brad said the difference is he did it to himself. Well, somebody could argue that you fed your face and you did that to yourself. So that's what TJ said. See, now I'm playing both sides of the coin. So, but that's just some food for thought.
But sometimes, like, smokers, like ex-smokers can be the most, like, anti-smoking, and ex-fat people can be the most judgmental of other fat people. Like, it's like a reaction to not wanting to, like, go back to a certain thing, thinking that you are now, like, holier than thou because you are no longer whatever the thing is. Like, not
no one
fat.
preaches like the converted is what you're saying, I believe is the term.
Yeah.
People who, like, quit smoking, they're, like, anti-smoking.
Yeah, and, like, I think TJ was even saying he was doing a little fat-on-fat crime not too long ago.
Yes, I was. I still find myself doing it, and I'm really finding myself, like, every time I see somebody overweight, I'm just like, God, there's a way to stop this, and we've covered that many times, and it's a great deal. So anyway, you guys, during this show, the Voodoo Queen will be our secretary, VSG Tanya. So if you guys, If you get, yeah, Sarah was saying that she feels a little underdressed for the show.
I do. I feel like I need to like.
Hashtag Gooch merch for the win. For Mamma Mia. I'm just going to say it right now. For the win. She won the internet tonight. That's
there
it.
will be no Gooch merch.
Hashtag Gooch merch.
Okay, so the other thing I was going to cover is everybody started posting Emily Sky's videos. And you might not know her name, but you've seen her video. Everybody's posting these yoga videos. She's wearing these hot pink, real tight pants. She's doing yoga poses and stuff. Anyway, her name's Emily Sky. Please keep posting those.
I don't. I
have to see this thing.
To go find that.
Yes.
Some pink tights.
Emily, oh yes, you could post those. That's okay.
Yeah, please.
It's inspirational. And I say that from a muscular, because she's very muscular.
She's toned. I don't know if I'd say she's muscular, but she's.
No, well, I'm looking at some that are pretty muscular, man. Hang on, somebody obviously doesn't know I'm recording a show. That is not my cup for starters. I have my own.
Hey, if you don't give me a drink, you got to get it in the right fucking cup, bitch.
God damn it! What do I pay you people for?
Now you're starting to sound like Tanya. That's how she talks to John. Did you see John last week? He actually crawled under the table.
Give him half your shit in a house, and they can't get good help around here.
I don't know where my assistant is.
He crawled under the table to hand her a drink. He was like a roadie. It was amazing.
I saw that.
That's
how she should have done that. You don't open the door and make noise. You go sneak through the window. You crawl into the desk. You hand the cup up to me and a little tug while you're at it, and then we're good.
That's how I do it, Phil. That's how I do it.
Well, then you chose poorly, and we're about to talk about that. So.
And I have something else written that I can't fucking read. So anyway,
that must be ambient.
Yeah, how about that ambient? None of you guys saw the ambient video, did you?
I didn't get to see it. I only heard the aftermath. That's
I didn't see the video. I saw the aftermath video.
Yeah. Same with you, Sarah.
Yeah, I only saw the explanation. I didn't see the real. Sadly.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I went back and I watched it. It was so hard to watch, and I started taking my shirt off. I thought, and I was like, "Oh, please don't get naked."
So somebody actually told me that they thought you were about to masturbate online. That's how good that video was.
Yeah.
So upset if I missed that.
Well, I was probably like sitting like this or something. I don't know. But I was yelling just random shit. I have no idea. But and I really wanted to figure out if there was a difference between how 47 and 48 felt. And I needed graph paper for this, apparently.
I so wish. I mean, you should have saved it just for me at least.
Hold on, I'm getting a.
You should have marked it private at least, so save it for me.
No, I didn't. I marked it private.
That's for me. Thank you.
You know what?
Look at the link.
The thing is I marked it private, and then I went back and I saw people were still viewing it, even though it was marked private, because it tweeted out, I guess. That's why
the link was already hot. Yeah.
The link was out there, so people were able to watch it, so I didn't have a choice but to delete it. I mean, I could have downloaded it first, but I wanted it gone.
At that point, you just wanted to get
possible.
the fuck off the internet. I know what you're saying.
And it was Mel's fault. I'm going to blame it all on Mel, because she had messaged me just saying, hey, and I was
I don't
like...
think she's in the chat, so I think you're okay. Go ahead and blame
her.
her.
And I was like... And she goes, I think that Hangout would probably be a better way to do this. So I was down here trying to get on, or no, she said FaceTime. So I was down here doing Hangout, and in my mind, I wasn't thinking, right? At that point, I was pure motor skills, which I didn't have much of. And I only know how to do live broadcasts on Hangout for the most part. So I came down, I was fucking live broadcast. And then I was pissed that you weren't there too, Phil. Just so you know.
Apparently, I heard that you were. I think the last words were, "Phil, are you there?"
I was like, "Phil, fuck this." So I was really upset about 47, feeling like 48, and that I didn't have any graph paper to do the equation for that.
Okay, I'm not sure. Being 42, I don't even know what we're talking about.
I'm 38, so I don't know what I was talking about either. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. We're on the same page.
Am I the baby here?
You are.
I am.
Because you're what? You're 36?
36, yeah.
Chris is 52. TJ, I'm
53.
I'm 42. 53. Sorry, if I'm
I feel
42.
like an older man. Just saying.
And like TJ's like 32, and then like Sarah's like 21.
So Sarah talks about like an older man. So let's get to the big announcement. Is everybody ready? Let's drum roll.
I don't know if the strength's working. I'll have to.
Sucker.
Okay, so who's announcing it? Which one of the Gooch?
You are.
You were the one that wanted to be the Oprah of the VSG community, or the
No,
WLF.
you wanted to be the TMZ of the WLF community.
I wanted to be the TMZ. I'll fucking announce it if you guys want me to. Do you guys want me to announce it?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so Gooch is currently placing his penis in Sarah's vagina.
Well, that went much smoother than I was worried about.
Oh, that was a mistake. And actually, currently, no.
Currently, no.
Oh,
And
well, that hurt as bad as I thought it was gonna. Really, really fucking did.
Because they're in separate countries right now. But that is not always the
He
case.
said country. Oh,
Country.
oh,
Oh my God, I heard.
not enough whiskey. Not enough.
I think what you meant to say, TJ, is that Sarah and Chris
Are deeply, madly.
are deeply in love.
No, I meant that Gooch is sticking his penis in Les Sarah's vagina, is what I meant.
Oh boy.
In a complete relationship sense.
In the I love your vagina sense.
Right.
In every sense of the word.
Not the way that you do.
Vagina.
I can't unsee it or unhear it.
Oh,
That's right.
Sangria.
All right,
That's
it's out
the day Phil became an alcoholic.
Okay, so it's out there now, and I secured rights so I could ask all the hard-hitting questions. And this is going to be nothing but a series of hard-hitting questions.
I have the phonies. Oh.
I think I have the phonies too.
But I haven't. And really, is somebody of Chris's age, like when he comes, is it like a puff of smoke? Is it like somebody blew flour into the air whenever he ejaculates?
Oh,
Boy.
that escalated quickly.
Confirm or deny.
I think you killed somebody with a trident, and you should probably lay low because you're wanted for murder.
There's a contract.
I can
So
neither
I-
confirm nor deny. I can't plead the fifth because I'm Canadian and we don't have that. But
Oh wait, you don't have rights up there? Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm bummed. I'm bummed. And I was watching Louis C.K. to get prepared for this show. So
Oh, good. That should help.
And he had talked about something, and I am bummed about this because I wanted to fuck the lowest hole on Gooch's head. All right, everybody's properly pet. So, okay, so we're going to get into questions. Sarah and Gooch said that I could ask them whatever I want to ask them, and then, of course, they have the right.
I may be regretting that decision.
yeah, you might. You might.
They have the right to say no. I don't want to talk about this. So that is.
I don't want to talk about this.
I don't know if I want to talk about this.
I don't have that right. Damn it.
So we'll start with Gooch. Are you?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that you no longer have to masturbate?
That is fucking amazing.
And Aries is very thankful.
Aries is his dog for the people who don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
You don't have to, this joke was funny without that.
Well, sometimes you have to give backstory.
No, it's more funny if they go find out because later they'll be like, "Oh shit,
Who the fuck is Aries?" Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I can't
They're
edit
the
it.
Damn it,
god
stop
of
it.
what?
Let's start over again.
Yeah, let's start over. Hey, welcome to Fact. So it's amazing. Gooch says. All right, so
Yeah.
let's get to the question that I think, and this is a serious question. I'm going to pose it in a somewhat joking manner, but Yoko Ono and Gooch, do they have anything in common?
No.
They sing the same."
Hey.
Oh no.
I kid. Come on. I have to get pot
Okay,
time.
but really, so the question is, I mean, obviously Sarah and Will have split up at this point. They made their announcement video, so everybody knows that.
And yet, see, that's where I'm having a hard time. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, we cover that. But anyway, so did Gooch split up you and Will, Sarah?
No. Absolutely not.
Do you want to elaborate more?
Well, I mean,
It's
I
an
talked,
hour
We'll
show.
elaborated for 22 minutes
It's
earlier.
an hour
It's an
show.
hour show.
I talked about it in the video that Will and I made, but we have been having problems for basically what we can trace back to about 5 years ago. And I I think the breakup of our marriage was probably imminent like 2 years ago. And we just weren't, we had a little spoon complacency disease, and we have kids, so it's not easy to just be like, well, screw this. And honestly, I wasn't brave enough to do anything about it. So, did Chris have anything to do with it? Well, yeah, I mean, he did in a way, because my feelings for him are what was finally the catalyst to make me realize that I needed to do something about my broken marriage. But, no, I mean, certainly wasn't the reason why we split up at all.
So, Gooch, I mean,
torches and the pitchforks now, and go after Gooch is what she said, I think.
But so, Gooch, was that something that?
I think I said he was a homewrecker. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so is that something that has fucked with your mind? Is that, did I split these guys up? Is this all because of me?
Yeah, that was actually really, really difficult. Like, really difficult, because anybody who really knows me knows that it wasn't an option. It was not something I would do. My marriage ended because my ex-wife cheated on me. And I swore to myself I would never, ever, ever be that guy. And Sarah actually didn't even tell me about her feelings for me until after she had, her and Will had the discussion and all that stuff.
I can confirm that.
Yeah,
See,
Phil can confirm that, actually.
Here's the thing, is that people cannot come to me for any kind of rumors, because I am the last one to find out. I think, amongst the last to find out about all this. So I know that you guys have talked to Phil a little bit. Will talked to Phil. Everybody talks to Tanya, right? All of a sudden, it kind of came to me. I obviously was not shocked, like most of the community. I don't think is going to necessarily be shocked, but at the same time, I knew nothing about it. But you had mentioned something there.
Can I tag up on that before you move forward?
Well, yeah, because I'm tagging up on something Gooch said, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. If you're going to tag up on Gooch, but I want to, before we move on from this question.
Everyone wants to tag up on me. What the hell?
I'm tagging up on Gooch because Gooch had talked about that his friend that his wife had cheated on him with his friend. So, just to clear the air, was there any cheating?
No, absolutely not. And I know a lot of people aren't going to believe that, and I honestly don't care. There was none.
So that's where I was going to go. So there was, and this hurts me deeply, but there was a lot of rumors ahead of time due to the closeness of, and look, TJ's had this happen. Tyrone, I think, has avoided most of it. Myself, I've had it happen. You've created certain relationships with people, certain friendships with people, and then people go and make rumors about that. And I was bothered by it a lot. I know that you and I had conversations on the side that that was an issue. Do you worry though that the reality coming? So it had to happen statistically, right? Somebody actually had to have that rumor come true, right? And you happen to be it.
Yeah, we just happen to be it.
Do you worry that the rumor is somehow more validated by the fact that you guys made the choice?
That was my next question and I'm just gonna say it now because you're gonna answer it, but that is, you guys did almost like the celebrity thing, and that was, there's nothing going on. A week later, hey, we're fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you said that. We didn't say that. You did.
I don't know if you guys are fucking or not. I haven't actually seen video, or I didn't watch a webcam show of you giving it to her hard doggy style. I didn't see that. So anyway, go. Why don't you guys? Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think people are going to ask is, wait a minute, you guys were just telling us 2 weeks ago that there was nothing up, and now all of a sudden you guys are together. So what's up?
Well, for me, I mean, we've talked about it in depth, and you and I and Phil and I both have talked about it too. And it's like, apparently everybody knew that we had feelings for each other except us. And I know that sounds like a bullshit story, and it's really not. I was kind of floored when Sarah told me, and
I was kind of floored when I figured it out.
You guys were on the floor when you guys what?
We were on the floor, yes. But then it's funny too, because when Sarah was here for our trip to Hampton, we made all these videos purposely being goofy and being like extra flirty and whatever, and now we look back at them and go, oh my god, now we understand why everyone thinks we're having an affair. And you know, to some degree, I mean, I'm sure it was subconscious with both of us, but you know, it's
And that's the story you guys are gonna stick to, right? You're not gonna deviate.
Come on, don't fucking do. Look, I'll give him a little. I'm gonna give you a little cover, Gooch. It's against my nature, but I'm gonna give you cover, especially for the show when I could capitalize on your pain. But I know that you struggled with it a lot when you got the information kind of handed down to you. When you kind of when Sarah came clean and said, "Hey, you know, this is where I'm at." And I know that you really had to kind of sit there and think about that a little bit, yes?
Yeah, I mean, well, you and I had a long conversation about it, like, right after Sarah told me. And I'll say it, I'm not embarrassed by it. I couldn't even begin to think about my own feelings when all I could think of was, oh, my God, how is this going to hurt Will? You know, because I love Will.
Well, that was actually one of the questions that we had. It came from Missy. I gotta find it again. I can't find it. It was Missy Mwiza. She asked, how does Will feel about Sarah and Gooch being together? Now, I know you guys don't want to talk for Will, but can you give us a sense of how is Will taking all this?
Let's go to Sarah on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for Will or on his behalf, but I mean, he's been far more amazing than probably I deserve, to be honest. Not that he's not having a difficult time with it at times, and but we had a very odd conversation long before this happened, where we had a very inappropriate joke going on about Chris being my second husband, and that if Will ever died in a fiery ball of death, that Chris could then, you know, marry me. And
That
he
started
actually
in
said
Tampa.
to me one day, if something ever happened to me, I would want you to be with Chris or someone like Chris, because that's how much respect they have for each other, and that's how much love they have for each other. And he's like, he's the kind of man I would want you to be with. I didn't take that as meaning like, go ahead and do that, but yeah. So I mean, I think honestly, people would be shocked and kind of weirded out by how not.
I am.
It is.
I'm weirded out by it big time.
Yeah.
I've said it to all three of them. You guys are fucking freaking me out. It's like being in the Twilight Zone watching.
There is shit that I've heard come out of Will's mouth. More so Will. I've talked to Will because I tell him I'm not completely okay with everything, just because I'm struggling with it. Like, it's none of my fucking business, and why am I involved? And we're going to talk about that too. But
You were struggling with
I
it?
fucking weirded out.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
I can
because
see that.
I think maybe I project a little because I was also in the rumor situation and still
Right.
probably am to some degree. And it almost like, you fuckers just screwed me. You know, that's what you really did. I mean, not that it's all about me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a part of me, I think that maybe that's why I kind of weird out about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry about that, Phil.
No problem.
So one of the questions I have is when did this start? Like, and I guess it's, I mean, you could say, right? Technically, you could say this started 7 months ago. Technically, right?
I mean, if you want me to tell the story, the whole story, I will tell the whole story.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so Chris and I met right after Thanksgiving, right before my 1-year surgery, basically. Someone sent me his video, and I don't really remember who it was. And I watched it and was like, wow, that was really fucking long. But, like, he, like, 42 seconds in the video, he's like, you know, fuck this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, that's my kind of guy. And I don't know, I just, like, felt a connection. And that's happened with other people as well. I mean, I remember watching Phil's first video and feeling that way, too. Like, this is someone I can really connect with. So I messaged him and was like, hey, I watched your first video. It was awesome, whatever. And strangely enough, one of the very first things we said to each other, he was like, just so you know, I'm really flirty. Don't take that the wrong way. I was like, yeah, me too. No worries. But we started talking, like, every day. And it was totally just a friend thing. There was nothing untoward. There was no sexual discussions. I mean, he was literally just talking. I mean, he was talking about being 6 weeks, you know, prior to surgery. And we talked about weight loss surgery things. And
Actually, I was seeing somebody when we first met.
Yeah, he was basically.
Can I interrupt 1 second? Just 1 second. So what you're telling me is that I could, if I had put a full court press on you, I could be there right now.
Dibs.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry for
Hey,
that.
you know what?
Olsen.
Speaking of dibs, not to derail the story, but I'm going to derail the story, and that is that my understanding is that perhaps Warrior has moved into Gooch's old position and is primed for taking over that vagina should something happen with Gooch.
Well, now let's be honest. VSG Bobby's actually was in the third husband position, so. But
So technically, he's moved up a rank, is what you're saying.
Right, I've decided that I think since I need to replace the third husband category, that it needs to be Walter, because I'm kind of a little bit obsessed with him. I'm sort of in love with him. That's
Walter is a good choice. I'm going to say he's
right?
going to be very successful with the whole weight loss thing for
Right,
starters.
I support that choice.
I heard you, Walter, so I want you to be my new boyfriend. I want you to be
For
third in
Walter,
line.
everybody put it up.
I want you to be third in line to all of this.
Sure. So
Fertilizer
everybody
system.
should be doing this at the end of their video. So anybody that does this in their video, they're referring to Walter. Just so everybody
Yeah,
knows,
from now on, if at the end of your video you see this, that's a sign to Walter.
we're not like West Coast. Fucking, I'm white, so I can't.
No, it's got to be two names.
But anyway, yeah, we do. This is how white folk do the W. We can't do the fucking ghetto fucking West Coast shit. But anyway, yeah. So big love to Walter.
Yes.
So anyway, continue with your story. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we just like.
Oh, Walter's in for it. He's already posting.
Excellent. You make
He's
you
smart.
make friends with people and you're really close and we talk to each other every day and blah blah. Fast forward to Tampa, which was the first time that we actually met, and that was all well and good. And we hung out, and actually Chris ended up sharing our hotel room. But we won't talk about that.
That's
Well,
because
that does add another dynamic.
DJ and Phil know that story.
I know because Phil was out of control and he got us kicked out of the hotel. So we had to find Gooch. We had to find Gooch a place to stay, and I'm like, Phil, dude, you need to calm down and you need to be reasonable because you're a little out of control right now. And he's like, fuck this. So I was like, all right, and we went ahead and we left. So we had to find Gooch a place to stay.
Yeah. So here is a little known fact. After Tampa, on the cruise, I won't say who it was, but I was confronted by two friends who said to me, Sarah, there's something going on with you and Chris. And I was like, no, there isn't. There's nothing going on. Like, no. And they were like, yes, you need to, figure this out. There's something there. And I was like, no. But, in my head, because I couldn't actually talk to him because we were on the cruise, it was like it kept going around and around. So literally I got on the plane on the flight home. I paid my $2 to iMessage him for the whole flight and be like, oh my God, this came up, I need you to tell me what's going on. If you have feelings, that's fine, but I need you to be honest with me. And he was like, no, I don't. And I was like, okay, I believe you. That's fine. I said, and I talked to Will about it, and I said, whatever he says, I will believe because we're friends, and I don't think he's going to lie to me. So he said, no, I don't. And I was like, okay. And we just moved on from that. And then I went down to Boston, and we were going to Hampton, and we spent some time together alone, and that was fine. And we spent time together in Hampton, and Will was there, my friend Max was there, a bunch of other people were there. But something happened, and it was a very, it was nothing big, but there was this moment that I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What's that about? I was like, this is not a feeling that I've had before.
So
And-
basically you're saying he reached in your pants? Is what you're saying?
No, it did not involve my pants, I guarantee.
Okay.
Did he flick your bean? Did he
Pick
flick
it
your
up.
bean? Is that
The
what
questions are coming in like hot and heavy now, but keep
they
going.
are? But no, yeah, keep going.
But I had a moment where I all of a sudden had this inkling of things changing or things being different on my part. I had no idea what Chris felt. And then because I ended up staying longer, which really didn't have to do with Chris, it had to do with Katie, who had come all the way from Seattle. But it so happened that I ended up staying an extra day, and we went out that day and went shopping and did all this stuff, and it was very.
So, okay, so I gotta interrupt. So I'm sorry. So you see how
I see.
things start to look fucking suspicious, right? I'm not saying they are. I'm saying, but you get how.
No, I absolutely
Look,
see
unless somebody's got a videotape of the two of you fucking before a certain date, that it's all speculation, and
Right.
That's been the attitude I've kind of taken on about the whole thing.
I understand that people are going to think whatever they think, and they're entitled to that. I know the truth. Chris knows the truth. Will knows the truth. Those are the only 3 people that we're concerned about.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, right on.
Being that since day one.
that's it. But yeah, we had this, we spent this whole day together, and it was very like coupley in a way. And then, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, like, I don't know. And then the next morning, I was trying to get to the airport so I could take my flight, which I ended up missing, which I'm sure didn't look good either.
You're busy boning, pretty much. I get it.
Yeah, and we literally sat in the car for like 2 hours, and we couldn't talk to each other. Like, we couldn't say anything to each other.
Well, when your mouth's full, it's hard to talk, Sarah. It's in your defense.
You did talk. It was like,
You came on the wrong show to announce this. I'm just
I
saying.
know. So this whole time, I was just like, why can't, like, what's going on? Like, and then I had like 8 hours of traveling and standby flights and like flying.
Oh yeah, because you got screwed over on the flights.
Yeah, to think about all of this stuff. And I got home on Wednesday night, and I was just like, I need to figure this out. And then Thursday, I spent the whole day at home by myself. And Thursday night, Will came home, and I was like, we need to talk because something is going on, and I need to tell you this. And it was very important to me. I had always told Will that I would tell him if I ever had feelings for someone else, and I told Chris I would tell him if I ever had feelings for him. And it was important to me to tell Will and to be open about the fact that I felt like our marriage was over and that it needed to be over, not just because of Chris, but just in general. But like I said, it was the catalyst for wanting to finally do something about it. But also it was important to me not to know Chris's feelings before I did that, because I did not want it to be like I was leaving Will for Chris or choosing Chris over Will. It wasn't like that. I had stopped choosing Will long before that, which is sad but true.
To interrupt you, sorry, but I mean, how hard is it to know that you might destroy a marriage and a friendship at the same time?
It was, I mean, I can't even tell you. It was the worst. I thought about it. Like, I thought about not saying anything, to be honest. I was like, you know what, Sarah, you could just not say anything and just continue being friends and you'd never know. And because I was afraid. I was afraid of losing both of them. I was afraid of Will flipping out and being like, yeah, that's it, forget it. Like, I'm out, I don't want to be friends, I hate you. And I was afraid of Chris not even rejecting me necessarily, but just being like, well, if you have feelings, that's great, but I don't, and I can't be friends with you. They are...
Well, VSG Kirk is out there. You do have to compete with him at all times.
Yes, it's true. Other than my friend Max.
You can make a straight man think about it. I think about it a lot. I'm like,
I love me some VSG Kirk, but I gotta tell you that Mr. E and Joey G, like, if I was gonna test the waters, I would have a threesome with Joey G and Mr. E Champ, and I would just fucking go all out. I would have every hole stretched for hours.
I would too, but I don't think they'd be into it.
Step on my joke.
I'm sorry.
That's too late. Going.
Okay, Sarah, sorry. Continue with your story. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like, other than my best friend, Max, who I've talked about before, I mean, Chris and Will are the most important men.
Max, the black guy?
Hey!
No.
You're friends with the black guy?
Hey! Hey! That's my brother from another mother you're talking about.
But yeah, I was afraid of losing both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I
think that would be kind of a nerve-wracking situation. It's like you could just end up alone.
I had to be the one to say, hey, Chris, listen. And I remember saying, like, the genie doesn't go back in the bottle. If I tell you this now, everything will be different. It'll never go back to being the same. So do you want to know or not? Not that he knew what I was going to say, but I was like...
Let me give you a little perspective, Sarah. After you said that,
the genie was already
mind fucked. He was...
Yeah.
He was on the stoop smoking regular cigarettes.
Oh, I totally was, too.
On the stairs with regular cigarettes, and he was like, I don't know, Phil, what do I do? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, this went on for hours.
And I felt, and I still feel guilty, and I told him that. I said, I feel like, not only did I FaceTime you and say, oh, by the way, Will and I are separating, like, it's over, but then I was like, and also, how about this? Try this one on for size. the guy who told me specifically I don't want a relationship, especially not a long distance one. Oh, here, let me just tell you this little bit of news. And then I had to...
Long distance? You could throw a fucking rock from where Chris lives to Canada. Come on, really.
But I was all, take all the time you need. But in my head, I'm like, oh my God, no, don't take all the time you need. I need to know now, you know. So I spent days not even knowing how he felt and just feeling exposed and vulnerable and dealing with the end of my marriage and yeah, that is not a situation that I recommend to anyone. And trust me, if it could have happened any other way, I would have preferred it. But
okay, so I know. Well, wait, we're going to get in. I just want to point out that I'm seeing everybody's questions. And we will get to them at the end of the show. I think that this show is going to go well over an hour, so everybody.
You think?
But I mean, we have several questions that we want to get through that I have on my list that might answer some of your questions, and then of course Phil will chime in from time to time. The more he drinks, the more he's going to chime in. So you can tell by interruption intervals how drunk Phil is getting. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, here's. Wait. I'm gonna be honest.
Phil, how sad were you seeing Spielberg in front of that unicorn today?
Kill them all. Wipe them out. All of them. Fucking unicorns shitting in my mouth.
Did you see my post when we were at Universal? They had Unipoo, and then I saw Mel. She posted some sort of like unicorn in a can, like spam. It was awesome.
Stop it! You people need to stop it. I don't like unicorns. All right, here's the question. So, look, man, this is my big problem with it, and it's not a problem with you guys at all. It's the less of Sarah and my friend Sarah, okay? There's the less of Sarah that we all know as the YouTube
personality,
okay? Right. I get that. You're an icon. I get it. Walter is quickly becoming an icon as a newbie. TJ and I have kind of put ourselves in that category as fat kings.
Tyrone's trying to establish himself.
And Tyrone's starting to stand up too. So, yeah. But the publicness of all this, like the need to feel like you have to address it publicly.
I don't.
How does that land on both of you? I want to answer from both of you. Because Chris kind of, like I said, he just coattailed his shit on you. I get it.
Excuse me, we don't have Chris on this fucking thing. We got Gooch Monster. So please refer to him.
Gooch Monster, not Chris of Waffle fame. Sorry.
Right.
There's too many Chris's and too many fucking Sarahs for starter. But
I know.
Right? Too many Chris and Sarahs together.
If your name's Chris, just go find a Sarah, start fucking her now. That's how it works.
Right. That's the rule.
Save us all the time.
Yeah, in the WLS community, if you're a Chris, find a Sarah. I don't feel like we had to explain things publicly, but what I do feel is that because we are public, that I didn't want anyone to think we were hiding something because we felt like we were doing something wrong or any of that. And I know that people are curious, and because we publicly denied that anything was going on, that's why I sort of felt like this was something that was important to do, and not just to clarify, you know, what's going on with the two of us, but just because I know so many people are concerned about relationships post weight loss surgery and why things happen. And
they are now. Okay.
Yeah. Will and I have said weight loss surgery really did not have anything to do with this, and we still both feel that way. And the only reason weight loss surgery had anything to do with Chris and I is that we both had it, and that's how we met. But it's not, you know, for me, for my relationship, and I can only speak for my relationship, weight loss surgery did not really have anything to do with the end of it. It did have something to do with the timing, and I think actually it was a positive thing. I think had I not had weight loss surgery, things still would have ended, but they probably would have ended much later and much more poorly. So for me, it was actually a positive versus a negative. So that's why I felt the need to be kind of public about it. Not because I feel like we have to justify anything. Like, you know, everyone's going to feel what they feel. They're going to think what they think. I know the truth. That's all that matters to me.
Well, I think some of it is... Oh, hold on a second. Okay, so I feel like some of it is that you, both of you, and more so Sarah, less of Sarah, shares, you know, you share your life on YouTube. So you want to be able to share everything with your fans, right? So it's one of those things that you don't want to have to keep. Yeah, I mean,
I don't have fans. I have, you know, people who.
I'm sorry, your shrink bots. Your shrink bots.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh my.
Anyway,
And that's a whole other show.
the-
Great, thanks.
the people who watch you on the YouTubes, whatever you want to call them, the Sarah-ettes, the groupies, the YouTube fans, the people who are interested in less of Sarah.
We call them
face it, is
subscribers.
that all of us have that to a certain extent, right? I mean, everybody has like a TJ, Tyrone fan base. Phil has a fan base. Gooch has a fan base. Sarah has a fan base. I mean, everybody has their certain fan base, whether it's one person or it's 1,000 people. But they want to hear as much about your life as possible. So in a way, you have to address this now so you can share, right? Because as things change and evolve with Gooch, you want to be able to share that with people. So it's best to get it out there, right?
Right, and it's also something that I don't really want to talk about on my own channel, in the sense that I've never talked really about my relationship with Will outside of how it affects weight loss surgery and how weight loss surgery affected that. So on my channel, I have no problem talking about the fact that I'm in a new relationship and how that affects, my, eating, or how dating someone who also has had weight loss surgery affects things, or how it affects my body image being with someone new, or all of that stuff. I have no problem talking about that, but I don't feel like I need to talk about the details of my relationship or how it happened or any of that stuff on my own channel. So for me, this is kind of like my way of getting it out there without having to necessarily talk about it on my own channel. So, yeah. But
well, that's one of the reasons I promote this. A lot of people go, oh, what's the big announcement, blah, blah, blah. It's because this is your chance. This is everybody's chance to be here. Ask the questions of Sarah, ask the questions of Gooch that they're not going to want to necessarily address in the future. At some point we have whatever in our road along the journey, and then we just want to move on. We don't want to have to rehash shit constantly forever. So this is everybody's chance to ask questions. So everybody, make sure you're posting your questions in there, because we will get to them. Like I said, we plan on going well over an hour on this, and people can just drop as they feel fit. So my next question on my list to keep.
Well, someone didn't answer that question. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gooch chance there.
Yeah, go ahead, Gooch. I'm sorry, I forgot you were on the show. It's kind of like whenever James was here, Sarah's here. She's taken over the whole show. James took over the whole show, so now we'll let you go ahead, Gooch. At some point, we'll have just Gooch on the show so he can actually talk for a change.
For me, it was kind of, definitely everything Sarah said, or most of what Sarah said, but for me it was a really important thing too, because I cannot stand lying to my friends. I absolutely can't do it, and I felt like I was lying to people that I was close with by not telling them the truth. I mean, granted, yeah, it may have been truth by omission, but I still felt like I was lying to them. So, like when you first asked the other day, you were like, hey, I want exclusive rights, I want to do this on the Fat Kings, and I was like, fuck no. Oh my God, go ask Sarah. Knowing she would say no, and then the three of us actually talked about it, and we were like, that's actually a really good idea, because exactly, we can, get the questions out of the way, and we don't have to talk about it on our own channels, and
right.
Well,
and that's something that everybody should know. So I originally asked Gooch, how do you feel about us announcing this on Fat Kings? Because I asked Sarah, what do you think about us announcing this on Fat Kings? And she said, ask Will. So I asked Will, and Will said, ask Sarah. I said, hey, I'm taking that as a yes, because I asked all three of you fuckers, and you're saying ask each other. Anyway, they had a powwow, and all three of them, this isn't just a Gooch and Sarah thing, all three of them agreed that this is where they were going to release the information. So this is not a sliding of Will at all, and we might be able to get Will on closer towards the end of the show, so you guys can hear Will's point of view as well. But yeah, I mean, this was something that was agreed upon by everybody. This was not a, hey, let's get Fat Kings out these two.
There was a name that got missed in that entire thing.
Okay, so here's the thing: is that they asked
Will.
They said, and I'll tell you my exact wording, because it was a bit asshole-ish, but anyway, they said, how does Phil feel about this? I said, I don't give a fuck. I own Fat Kings. If Phil wants to be on the show, he can, and that's how I put it to him.
That's how that went.
And that's how it pretty much went, just for the record.
That's why Phil says I'm a bit uncomfortable with this, or he's on the fence about this because there was real no consultation of Phil other than, hey Phil, we're gonna have Sarah and Gooch on to announce that Sarah likes it in the hiney from Gooch.
Did I mention my beard is completely gray now, all the way? No patches. It's all look.
I was going to mention that is that Gooch says I don't like lying to people out there, but then he dyes his beard. What the fuck?
Yeah, but
dude, you're lying.
That's not a lie though, because anybody that has seen like my older videos can clearly tell that I have.
Yeah, but now you're kind of in a relationship, so it is a lie. We talked about this already.
But it's not a lie anymore. It's like
But
when
it's not a lie anymore because I'm in a relationship.
The padded bra is a lie until you're in a relationship, and then it's.
Yeah, right. So now
It's acceptable. It's the same with shapewear. You can only wear shapewear if you're in a relationship. Otherwise, it's false.
Outside a
advertising.
relationship.
Thank God.
Right. So.
Thank God I was only single for 5 minutes because otherwise it would have been a problem.
And that's I was going to ask another question next that was kind of a fun question, but let's ask a serious question first. So, and I asked you this before when we kind of did the pre-interview, and that was, how do you feel about going from a marriage to a relationship and not giving yourself that time? Like the analogy I used before was this is like going high school straight to college. You don't give yourself time to experience anything. Do you feel like you're going to miss out by doing this?
It wouldn't have been my choice, for sure. I kind of felt like, and I'll explain it this way, I've never done the friendship to relationship thing. I've only ever met someone in the sense of dating them and then forged a relationship with them. I've never converted a friend into something else. So for me, that's like uncharted territory. But because we were so close, it almost seems like we have been dating all that time, because really we talked about all the things that you would talk about, if you were a couple, and just because of our friendship and how close we were. So I sort of felt like, I could have said, well, hey Chris, guess what? I have feelings, but you're going to need to wait 6 months, but in the end we still would have talked every day and we still would have had a relationship. It would have been.
Oh shit! They're coming to take your ass away. I hear the sirens.
That's me.
Yeah.
They're coming for me.
It's Phil.
They're coming to pick me up from my ambient trip. Everybody's asking, where do I send the ambulance?
The ambulance.
Sorry.
The ambulance.
I felt like it didn't make sense to do that. I felt like that would just be fake. Like, basically, just in the situation we found ourselves in, we pretty much had to go from friends to being in a serious relationship. And yes, that is really hard. And it's really hard to deal with ending a relationship and starting a relationship at the same time. And it's hard to deal with when both of those people are friends with each other. And everything about this situation is fucked up. I won't lie, but it is what it is, and I need to deal with it. We need to deal with it as it is. And I mean, Chris can tell you how he feels about it, but yeah, it is, for me, it is extremely difficult to deal with both at the same time, but I didn't feel like I had a choice.
So what do you think, Chris? Are you worried about being, or I'm sorry, Gooch, what do you think? Are you worried about being a rebound? Are you worried she's moving too quick?
I actually asked her that.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, so is this like a rebound thing? And she swears it's not. So I believe her.
Yeah, and and it's something I asked Sarah, and it's probably in these questions somewhere, but do you feel like, but this is more for Sarah, do you feel like moving on from your marriage is easier now? I know that you had talked about the catalyst analogy, but do you feel like moving on now is a little bit easier because you have Gooch?
It's a little bit easier, but in a way it's actually a lot more complicated. I was having a discussion with Will where I said, and again, I don't want to speak for him, but he said, that he's envious of the fact that I have a new relationship. I'm envious of the fact that he can just go out and do whatever he wants and doesn't have to deal with a new relationship and can just, do his thing and sow his wild oats. And I can't. And so, yeah, there's part of me that's envious of that. It would have never been my choice for things to happen the way that they did, but I'm also not sad about it. I think anyone who sees us together knows that we're happy. So
that's good. That's nice. Okay, so the next question I have is, when Gooch first came out, right? When he not came out, but when Gooch first started like doing videos, I had a certain disdain for Gooch, right? Because I felt like he was kind of counterfeiting the Fat Kings, right? He had the tattoos, he had the exact same goatee as Phil. Some of the topics he touched on were very similar to ours. So I didn't really buy into Gooch until I met him in Tampa, and I was like, oh, he really is a nice guy. You know, I didn't truly buy into it until then. But do you feel like, to a certain extent, there's like a surrogate type situation set up where he's kind of a hybrid of me and Phil, and you are kind of exploiting that?
Maybe.
I can guarantee you it'd be totally different if you just took the both of us at the same time.
Well, I don't want to say, but I'm just saying.
You could have just said, hey, Will, can I have a pass for a one-time double up with Phil and TJ?
Hey, you know, Sarah's been about as close to my taint as any human being can get.
That is probably true.
There's video proof of it. Watch the Tyrone intro. Okay, so let's see. Where you? I fucking can't read my own writing, but
Ambient strikes again.
No, I did not take Ambien tonight, but I think what I'm getting at here.
Good, we're in good hands now.
Yeah, I have no idea, but do you feel that other weight loss surgery patients, because it is a concern throughout the community, especially for the +1 people, is this something that everybody should be worried about? Should people be worried that they're going to be losing their marriages? And because this happens, right? We've seen it in several of the people in the community, and especially high-profile people like you and Spoon, where they made that jump, right? Is this something that people...
I think they should only wear it if their name is Sarah.
Yeah, if your name is Sarah and you meet a Chris, you should probably. You know, it's funny because obviously Spoon and I have talked a lot, and in some ways our situation is very similar, but in a lot of ways it's really, really different as well. We actually talked to another couple via Hangout a few days ago, and I won't say who it was, but another couple in the community who are married, and have been concerned about this particular issue. And basically what I said was that anyone that I knew in the community who had ended a relationship, whether that was a marriage or just, a long-term relationship, no one's ever been like, and then I ended my relationship and that was the wrong idea. Like, it's always been a positive thing. I think if you have, and I've said it before and I'll still say it, if you have a very strong marriage, if you have a very strong relationship, it will survive. But if you don't, then yes, weight loss surgery is a catalyst for certain self-discoveries or whatever, because you stop being complacent, you stop wanting to accept that you can't be happy. Sometimes you stop accepting that no one finds you attractive. I did not have that issue, I'll be honest. I never was like with Will because I thought no one else wanted me. As fucked up as it sounds, even at 460 pounds, I still thought that I was attractive, and yeah. Oh,
you were hot. I totally roll you in flour and look for that wet spot when you were 460.
But yeah, no, I really was not that person who didn't think that they could get someone else, and that's why, so for me it was a little different, because I know that sometimes happens where, especially with women who, maybe have low self-esteem and suddenly they have all this attention from men. I not only didn't feel that way, but I never suddenly got attention from men. I literally have been hit on twice in the last 6 weeks, which is the first 2 men who have hit on me in the entire time, like this entire last 2 years. So it wasn't like suddenly I lost weight and I was like getting all this attention. I wasn't. And so it's not like it was something that was like, oh, and now suddenly men are paying attention to me and I realize I can do better or get someone else. Like, for me, that wasn't really an issue, and that had nothing to do with why my marriage ended. My marriage was over a long time ago. I just didn't have the courage to actually move on.
Right. So Gooch, what's your thoughts on that?
I lost the question.
It was just about do you think that people, and it's a little different because you were single going into this, but do you think people should be concerned about weight loss surgery and how it's going to impact their relationship? Do you think that there's a larger risk of divorce or people leaving their spouses because they have weight loss surgery?
Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, I can say, and I've said this to Sarah, actually, I think I said this to you. If I were still married, my marriage would have been over. Absolutely. Not even a question, because I wasn't in a good marriage anyway. So me going through all these changes and being selfish myself and whatever, that would have absolutely ended my marriage. But, you know, it was over a long time ago, so that, you know, it doesn't matter. But honestly, if you have, just like Sarah said, if you have a strong marriage, you have a strong relationship, weight loss surgery is just something that you do. It's a change, but every life changes all the time.
Yeah, okay, but
you can blame it on whatever you want.
That's the easy answer, but
I know, and it's. I don't want to say
I'm not
it's a
picking on
cop-out,
you
but
per se. Just in general, it's the easy answer. But the point I was going to try and make is like, you change so much about, like, especially if you're big your whole life, you have a certain self-image, and then as you change that self-image, and you find people who are being attracted to you, I don't care if it's same sex, different sex, whatever, that attracts.
Well, I have no shortage of lesbians hitting on me.
Right, exactly. That's kind of where I was going with that, Sarah. So the fact that somebody is attracted to you in a way that your spouse is not, don't you think that kind of...
Well, that's different.
But don't you think that you are more attractive to more women, therefore your attitude about yourself becomes actualized through someone else, whether it should be or not, but it is, or do you find that to be the case? If that made sense.
Honestly, I have suck-ass self-esteem. Right. I do not know how to take a compliment. I mean, I was big my whole life. I mean, Sarah can tell you. And actually, Katie yelled at me like a little while ago, and she was like, "This is just when you take a fucking compliment and say thank you." I was like, "Whoa, okay, thank you." You know, I don't take compliments well. I really never have. So I could see, yes, absolutely. In my case, no, but that's just in my case.
And for me, it's a really hard question to answer because Will, bless his heart, always found me attractive, or at least acted like he did, from 460 pounds to, 210 pounds. And so, it wasn't like I thought, oh, he doesn't think I'm attractive or he doesn't want to be with me. And because I wasn't getting attention from other men at all during that period either, for me, that's kind of an impossible question to answer because that wasn't my experience. I had a husband who always seemed interested and I had no one else who was. So...
Well, okay, so Sarah, in that regard, then, I don't know. It's a fair question, but I'm asking anyway. So do you think like, well, I've always had that, so I'm comfortable with that. If that's there, it's safe, it's secure, it's normal. This other stuff, though, is kind of exciting. Did that ever come into?
No,
I think that kind of goes back to the rebound.
Lesbians want me. These lesbians really want me.
Terrifying, and actually it was more discouraging than encouraging, as funny as that sounds.
No, that's what I'm asking.
With someone else was actually something that was more, holy shit, it was more horrifying than anything. It was not encouraging.
Just for the record, I always did find her attractive, even at 460 pounds.
No, there's no doubt about that.
No, the idea of being with someone else was more discouraging than encouraging. Was like the most terrifying aspect of this whole thing, to be honest, was the physical, literally being with someone else who was not Will and did not know. Yeah, I don't want to get into too much detail, but that was literally.
No, we deal in details here.
Yeah, that was the most horrifying aspect of the entire thing. Everything else was easy compared to that. That is because it's one thing to know that you're with someone who has seen your body change and is used to, all of that. And then to go from that to just a completely new relationship in general and to deal with all the mental and emotional baggage of that's just, it's really difficult. I don't really know how else to explain it, but that's hard.
So something I have noted here, and I'm just going to ask it as kind of a vague overall question, and really, I guess it's for everybody, but more so for Sarah and Gooch, and that would be, how does being in the view of YouTube and Facebook affect all this? Like, does it make it harder? Does it make it easier? Does it play on your decision at all? I mean, what part does YouTube and Facebook play in this?
It doesn't really play much of a part. I mean, the only part that it really plays for me is the fact that I know a lot more people through YouTube and through Facebook, and that goes back to my other answer, is like, I just don't want to feel like I have to lie to somebody or whatever. The fact that Sarah and I are together has, the only thing that it really has to do with Facebook and or YouTube is that that's how we met.
Right, and that's kind of a big part of it, is that's how you met. But
right.
Sarah, I mean, what's your thought on that? As far as does YouTube play a part in it, as far as your relationship with Gooch, you're leaving Will, and you're coming out, which you kind of talked about a little bit, but I mean, what part does that play in it? What part does social media play in all this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like because I've been open about everything else, and because Will and I were, made videos together about our relationship, and because he made his, +1 videos and all of that, I mean, it's something that was already out there. So certainly if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't suddenly think I needed to make a video about the fact that I was getting divorced. But but I did feel like we needed to do that because we had already, talked about our relationship and put that out there. And I was like, well, if we're going to be open about it, then we need to just be open about it and let people know what's going on. And, between Chris and I mean, certainly we knew that people would be interested or, speculate or whatever. And so we just sort of felt like it was better to put the truth out there than to have everyone speculate about what was going on and spread rumors and do all that stuff. I mean, I'm not, and I said this to him the other day, but I was like, I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed. We didn't do anything wrong. I said this the other night, but we fell in love. That wasn't a mistake. That was,
So let me tag up on that. So, it's not a fair question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So do you feel like you, especially you, Sarah, because Gooch kind of caught it after the fact, but do you feel like you had a emotional affair, and do you feel like the videos that you and Will made were maybe in the 90% level instead of the 91% level? In other words, you know what I'm talking about. In other words, kind of one extra percent of truth that kind of put out the reality of it.
I struggled with that for a while, and the friend who confronted me about my relationship with Chris said, do you think that it's okay that you talk to a man that's not your husband every day? I didn't think that was a big deal. I don't have an issue with, and I made a video about this, with men and women being friends. I've had lots of male friends. I still have lots of male friends that I've never had a relationship with. This is literally the first time. And I've always had a lot of male friends. So I don't think this is suddenly, proof that men and women can't be friends. I don't know. It's really hard to answer because I still struggle with it. I don't really feel like it was an emotional affair because it really never crossed the line from friendship to anything else. I mean, we really did not have conversations that were not strictly things that friends would talk about. I mean, there was nothing sexual. There was nothing naughty about it. There was, it was literally just friendship. And as soon as it was more than that, then that was out in the open. And that was really important to me because in any relationship, honesty is super important. And I had promised both Chris and Will, that I would always be honest about my feelings. So I'm not good at keeping secrets either. I feel it, I say it. Obviously, if anyone's watching my videos, you all know. So I don't know. I think it's a really gray area, unfortunately, and I've kind of had to just come to terms. Will said, and I need to say this because this is just an example of how sort of amazing Will is. I talked about the fact that I felt guilty about how this all started. And I said, for Chris and I, there's never going to be this warm, fuzzy feeling about how our relationship started. Started in pretty much the shittiest way possible, in a way. But Will said to me, it's like this, like your lotus tattoo. The lotus, grows in the mud. It grows out of the mud, but it still can turn into something beautiful.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's deep.
He's
That's
wooing
deep.
you. Wooing you.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, it's not the ideal situation, but that doesn't mean it can't be.
I kind of laughed in the middle of your talk, not at you, but because Sarah Spoon, there in Oregon, says Waff knows how to pull off the long con too. I just saw it pop up on the screen. That's funny. Okay, so I had another question. So Sarah, this is for you. It's a hard one. It's a direct one.
I like it that way.
Why didn't you leave Will when you were fat if you were unhappy?
That's a really good question. I was scared. Again, it wasn't, I know the typical answer would be I felt like I couldn't do better. That's not really true. I was scared. I was scared of what that would mean for my children. I was scared of what that would mean for me. I was scared of how complicated that would be and the fact that I would have to work at it. And it was easier to just leave things status quo. And I remember having a conversation with Will where I said, frankly, if you just wanted to be roommates, that would be okay with me, because as long as I could just get my needs filled somewhere else, whatever. But that's not really the way it should be, and I think I talked about it in the video that I made with Will, but what weight loss surgery taught me was that I could put my mind to something and overcome something that I thought was not possible. It gave me a confidence in being able to handle my life that I didn't have before. Because I did something I thought would never happen, it allowed me to open my eyes to the possibility that I could do other things that I thought I couldn't do. And that's really what it was.
Right. Do you think that in a sense, and I feel this, and I'm honest fella, but and I feel this with other people I see this type of thing come up, is do you feel like maybe Will's getting cheated a bit? He's been riding around in a Pinto, and now all of a sudden he got a Ferrari and he goes with somebody else. I mean, isn't that kind of fucked up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've made this joke before, and but the very first thing Will said when I said I wanted to have weight loss surgery was, as long as you get your boobs fixed, that's fine. And now I feel like, great. And then once I have plastics, you won't even get that.
Well, now you have to show them, period.
Right, yeah, there was a discussion about that. I won't get
Listen,
into it.
if you're going to share
one
them
more
with Gooch,
pass at it, at
if
least.
you're going to share them with Gooch, you got to share them with all of us. That's the rule, I think.
It's a
I'd
community.
buy that for $1.
And then, so I got a direct question for Gooch. Is your mom upset that you're moving out of her basement?
She's ecstatic, but I'm not moving out of my basement.
This is starting to get into the questions that the community has.
Right, so and that's why I'm kind of segueing. I'm just going to ask this one, and then I don't know. I'm going to ask everybody on here. How does everybody feel about bringing Will on?
I'm all about bringing
I'm
Will
going to
on.
get a lot more to drink.
Okay. I think that I'm going to need to replenish a drink as well. But anyway, so
Drink.
are you guys comfortable talking about that,
Wait.
what the future plans
Yeah,
are?
absolutely.
Let's do the
Yeah.
community questions before we bring Will in, because people have been waiting a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say too that there are absolutely no secrets between the three of us. Like there
Well,
are.
I think everybody.
Unfortunately, I've heard that might be true, and that scares me. But
Well, that's the
okay.
thing, is that we can all attest to that, and that's what freaks me out the most. And I actually have, you guys can't see it because it never shows up on the freaking camera, but I have weird exclamation mark. This whole fucking thing is weird to me.
It is, and I've actually said to people that
Preach!
I think we all have, that it's like this is a situation that should be so ridiculously awkward, and it's not hardly as awkward as it should be.
Well, here's the thing:
Which
is
the
I'm
community
talking
has
to
also
Gooch.
echoed, just for the record.
I hope you guys don't mind me telling this story. If you do, I'm very sorry, and you can yell at me later. But I was talking to Gooch and Sarah yesterday, and Gooch says, or day before yesterday, whenever it was, And Gooch says, I talked to Will this morning. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about that you talked to Will this morning? Sarah's visiting you and you're talking to Will.
I have one worse than that, but I don't think I can share it.
Yeah, no, don't share it. 'Cause I can't handle any more weird.
It's way worse. It's
and
way
I don't
worse.
know. I don't know if Will is a fucking loon, if you guys are a loon, but the whole thing is fucking weird to me. How is nobody punching anybody?
TJ and I.
Do you hear him?
I love TJ.
Can you
Look,
hear him?
I love TJ. TJ and I almost had a fist fight in Tampa. That's how much we love each other.
I was right next to you.
Nobody has punched anybody. There's something wrong.
I know.
The testosterone levels are too low here, apparently.
Apparently, I'm not worth fighting over.
You need to go work out more or something.
He was all like, "You can have her. It's all right."
Okay, so let's get to. I'm sorry, Gooch. Go ahead. I mean, what? This is just fucking weird, man. Is that not weird talking to a man whose wife is in your house?
Dude.
Oh God, TJ, I can't wait to tell you the story.
Oh my God, Phil has a story.
He does.
I'm not telling you here. I can't even tell it here because it's so wrong.
Okay. No, tell me offline.
No, I'm not telling you now.
Somebody, I saw a question pop up earlier, and somebody asked if Will and I were still speaking. Yeah, obviously. Will is one of my best friends. I love him to death. And we've both been there for each other for different, odd, I know this sounds fucked up, circumstances. But I mean, I love Will like he's my brother, and that's all there is to it. I'm not going to speak for Will. But yeah, so I mean, it should be ridiculously weird, and we probably should hate each other. And I told him I don't blame him if he does hate me. But
realistically, Chris is the only person that Will knows who has actually been through something very similar.
It's Gooch. It's not Chris. It's Gooch.
Sorry, Gooch.
Okay, go ahead.
The only person that Will knows who has actually been through something very similar and understands kind of what Will is feeling and whatever. So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm starting it. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling through. I started at the very bottom, so I have to go through like 3,000 messages.
Aaron, I think Aaron's the first one.
Go ahead and ask the question because I haven't got to it yet.
So Aaron WVSG says, were they seeing each other when Gooch went to Canada?
No.
No, that was actually
not exactly.
Yeah.
Not exactly? You can't say
Wait
not
a second.
exactly. That
I'm
means
going to call
yes,
a little bit of horseshit on me.
That was kind of the trip to see if there, if it was something real, if it was something that, we really wanted to pursue, and just to kind of really, because I mean, we talk on FaceTime every day and we talk online all the time and whatever, but I mean, we're not together that often. So it really was, and I think I told you this, Phil, that this is really going to kind of make it. Oh boy!
Oh my!
Oh, Olsen!
I have truth.
It is the and it really was one of those things where I don't think we both truly knew until I went to Canada, and we had a long conversation and.
Hey, Gooch, wait a minute. You're going to have to learn how to say it right. It's Canadian.
Canada. I know, I've been saying that. But the whole time I was there, I was walking around going, hey, I'm American. You can all fuck off. I'm American.
Not for long.
Oh, I'm still, no matter what happens, I'm still American.
We haven't got to that question yet.
That's the next question. But yes.
Next question.
Is it? Is it the next question in line?
The next question.
What's the plans? Do you guys feel comfortable talking about the plans, and do you have plans as far as what's going to happen with Gooch?
TK Sleever asked this exact question.
I think we both. I'll let Chris answer, but I'll just say this. I think that before either of us said anything to each other, we both knew there was only one way that it could work. So.
Yeah. There was only. I knew going into it that there was only one way it was going to work. Sarah has, Will and the kids, and I'm single. So me picking up and relocating is, anybody who's watched any of my last 15 videos knows that I've been, looking to relocate anyway. So, granted, Canada isn't nearly as fucking warm as San Diego, but there's a cute girl there. So
A
yeah.
girl. She's not a woman. She's a
She's
girl.
not a woman.
Well,
She can bend you over and take advantage of you, and you're not going to call her a woman? Really? That could hurt in a lot of painful ways. Just going to say.
Oh my.
So I guess that begs the question.
So the answer to your question is there are talking. We're talking about it and trying to figure things out.
Well, TK Sleever and Tara's mama VSG both ask one. So when is Chris moving to Canada? And and when are you guys moving in together? Pretty much the same question, but phrased a little differently.
Well, I mean, there's it's slightly different than obviously if we both lived in the same country. There's immigration and all kinds of things that have to happen. So we've been trying to figure that out, and we're hoping by the end of this year, but we don't really know.
Chris is a dirty border jumping immigrant. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
We have a big problem with this ourselves.
Yeah.
And what's Canada's stance on this?
I don't know. I mean, we'll
Canada
see.
has not said no yet.
It is Canada, motherfucker. Say it right if you want.
I'm an American. I have a constitution. I don't have to say that. So, eat a bag.
You're an
of
American, aren't you? Used to being told what you can and can't say.
Can't tell me what's. Yeah, not me. Maybe some other people. I have guns.
Hey,
So
just so you guys know, VSG Warrior is saying that he's having sex right now with VSG Warrior. So he's jerking off to this, is what he's saying. Just so everybody's aware.
Perfect. But did he say that is he going to agree to be my new boyfriend? Is what I'm wondering.
he said he's okay with 34ths. Is what he said, I believe.
No, he said he's okay with dirty fourths, is what he said.
Okay, that's good. It's actually thirds. It's thirds at this point.
Thirds. You have moved up a rank, sir.
Yeah, exactly. It's thirds. Yeah. Because we have Chris, Bobby, Walter. So.
I keep hearing Will laughing.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody's laughing.
I gotta scroll through. There's so much fucking here.
Or Will and Chris still friendly? We talked about that. That was missed.
Where's the secretary?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
The
she's
secretary
there.
is probably hammered. She can't take this kind of stress. I don't blame her.
I don't know. The real Share Bear, I see that you posted something very important, but it's too fucking long to read, so please post shorter comments.
No essays.
When does Jerry Springer type action start? That's
There you
funny.
go.
That's
Now we're
from
caught up
Missy.
together.
That's from Missy. You know what? Earlier, TK Sleever made a comment.
Stop the presses.
No. Hold on a second. TK Sleever made a comment about she couldn't eat perky jerky because it was too slimy. TK Sleever is a fucking lesbian. What are you talking about? You can't eat something that's slimy.
Christ on a cracker. Oh no. It's properly maintained, TJ.
I don't really know what to
Tyrone.
make of all this right now.
What did he say?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I love you.
We'll find out. Oh.
Gastric Tiger says, drink, Phil, drink. My
Awkward.
drinks are both broken. Both of them are broken right now.
Aaron is double
You
fisting.
might have a better chance, but I'm just saying.
Drink, Phil, drink. I saw that, but Aaron said that they're double fisting. Will's much stronger
Oh, I'm
man
sure they
than
are.
I could ever imagine. Said free from food. That's not which he is. Will, I mean, I got to give props to Will because I would be fucking homicidal at this point.
I mean, here's the thing. Ladies.
Sarah would be going for a long walk in the forest with bacon grease and nothing else.
That's right. Just because I'm dragging a body doesn't mean anything.
Will Spano is available, and let me tell you that he is a wonderful man, and that has nothing to do with why our relationship didn't work. We've actually spent countless hours doing like relationship postmortem and talking about why our relationship didn't work, and realized that we're both broken in different ways, and it's not about him or about me. It's just we didn't
It's not
work.
you, it's not me. So it's Chris.
Yeah, it's not you.
It's not you, it's not me, it's Chris.
So Gooch, Mama Mia VSG asked Gooch, how does this relationship with Sarah affect your promise to put your meat in my mouth and OG, which I think she meant OH?
I love when he puts his meat in other people's mouths. I'm just saying.
If I get a written permission, I could probably take up some of your duties, Gooch, but it's not likely.
Well, Sarah and I are fine with, me putting my meat in other people's mouths, so it's fine.
Question,
Don't
Sarah.
you worry, Melissa.
So, finding my new normal. I haven't pre-read this, so I'm just gonna read it out loud. Sarah, in past videos, you mentioned that your pre-surgery friends treated you differently because your normal flirtatiousness became more threatening because you were getting smaller and sexier.
Yeah.
Are they
sexier,
hiding?
but...
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Are they hiding their husbands and partners from you?
No,
well,
actually.
they are now.
They are now. Strangely enough, a lot of my friends are single, so it's not really a huge deal.
Bullshit, you're competing for the same dudes now.
Well, well, not really. I mean, when Chris was up a few weeks ago, I mean, he came to karaoke and had a barbecue at my friend's house, and honestly, they were all like super accepting and very cool with it. And
They were awesome, actually.
Until he left. Then they were judgmental.
No, I mean, the thing is that a lot of those friends don't know Will that well, actually, because he doesn't usually come to karaoke. So the friends of mine that do have never known me to not be with Will, it's a little more difficult for them to, see me with someone else or think about me with someone else. But, yeah. That's all I can really say about that.
Miss Janie, she asked about how are the plus ones taking the news, so you guys can post
They're
their
getting
comment
torches
there.
and pitchforks is what they're doing.
I know, they're like, oh fuck, man, I knew that this was gonna happen. This is gonna happen to me, and I think that I worry about that all the plus ones are gonna kind of get that, because I think that they already have that feeling that.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I have this strange guilt because we denied that anything was going on, and it really was. That was true. I mean, as much as people may not believe it, I've said this, but if God forbid, if we were having an affair, we were either the worst at covering up, or we thought we were really smart by pretending to joke about it and thinking that would cover it up. Because honestly, we made the most inappropriate videos and stuff joking about it because we thought it was so funny. So, I mean, we really did not know, and I think both of us, it was difficult for both of us to figure out how we couldn't have known before, because I mean, I know for me, I think that I'm really self-aware and that I know how I feel about everything, and it was a big shocker to me that I had feelings that I didn't realize I had. And we talked about it a little bit this past weekend, and we kind of figured out that because we're both planners, we never planned on falling in love or being together or that even being an option, and so we just didn't consider it. It just wasn't something that was ever going to happen. I remember TJ asking me in Tampa, so you and Gooch, is that going to happen? I was like, no, that's ridiculous. So, I mean...
Everybody's making poontang comments. Everybody knows what poontang you were eating in Canada.
Yes, it was Smokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Harvey's.
Or Harvey's, yeah.
So I don't know. I looks like I got through most of the questions. Phil, do you see anything I don't?
There's many more.
Okay, yeah, no, please, because I'm just reading through the comments. Hey, you go ahead and ask the questions. I need to make another drink and take a bite.
Okay, when you get back, we'll switch spots. So.
Okay.
But I have to go
Tiger.
not with TJ, but do the same thing as TJ.
Stop it!
I'll be
I'm the host here. You shut your mouth.
Oh, Phil, it's just me and you, baby.
I lived through this with this is Tiger, gastric Tiger. I lived through this with my parents after my mom had WLS. Do you think you will regret? Do you think you would regret this in the long run? Do you think you will regret this in the long run? I know my parents do. How do you think this will affect the boys? Sorry, I'm drinking, and I really want Will's perspective on this too. So we'll have to loop Will in later, but we'll give you two a chance to answer.
I don't really feel like I'm going to regret it, to be honest. As I said, I feel like our relationship, our marriage was really over a long time ago, or it was at least past the point of fixing a long time ago. And I'm not going to get into everything that we've kind of discovered in the last little while, but we've talked at length about our relationship and what went wrong, and that was really important to me, especially starting a new relationship, to know, what was it that I did or that I didn't do or that I could have done that could have made a difference. Because clearly I don't want to make the same mistakes over again. So I don't think that I'm going to regret it. Honestly, I think I'm a real believer in people being in your life for a certain reason, and I feel like Will is always meant to be in my life, but just maybe not in the capacity of being my husband. But I mean, I know he said it in his video, you know, he feels like the thing that we were meant to do, we did it. We brought 2 beautiful children into the world, and we'll continue to be their parents and their family forever. And that's the most important part for the 2 of us.
I'm going to add a question that's not in here. And again, none of these are disrespect questions, but do you feel that fucking Will, Sarah, do you have like an extra layer of like, I'm gonna do it 2 ways. We're gonna have 2 questions here. Chris is fucking gone, I see, so
Yeah.
that's important. So this will be good for me to ask him this question now.
Did I miss something good?
Do you feel, Sarah, do you feel more quote unquote guilty about breaking up a marriage in this? I know that's not what. I know that Gooch is not what drove you to that, but based on your previous answer, but do you have that guilt hanging around about ending a relationship with Gooch? I'm sorry, ending a relationship with Will, starting a relationship with Gooch. This is Aaron WVSG kind of asked that, but on the flip side of that, Gooch, do you feel like even though that wasn't your intent, do you feel like you, whether it was your intent or not, you being in the equation at all caused the expedition of that?
Yes.
Divorce.
But yeah. I mean, granted, I mean, Sarah and I have been, you know, really close, you know, since November, and you know, Will and I got close really quick too. So, I mean, I knew a lot of what was going on with them to begin with. So, I mean, I was shocked when she told me the first part of the story, and the second part, you know, as you know, was like a bomb going off. But yeah, I definitely feel like, you know, unknowingly or whatever, you know, it's still kind of on me. And you're staring at me like, yeah.
I'm asking. I'm waiting for Sarah. Like, I'm not talking about the logical.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, oh, I can work this through logically and understand that this is where I'm at and that's where that happened and blah blah blah. I'm saying emotionally, purely emotionally.
I think there's still some guilt there, but I'm a really logical. I mean, I am an emotional person, but I'm also a very logical person, and it's easy for me to understand that the way things happened are probably for the best. The very, very last thing I would have wanted was for us to stay together because we couldn't be bothered doing anything about it and just letting the resentment and the anger build to the point that we just hated each other. And that's what I was always afraid of, and that's why I was grateful that Chris was there, even just as the catalyst to make that happen. This sounds terrible, and I remember saying this to Sarah Spoon about Waffle. I said, whether things work out, or this was at the very beginning of their relationship, I said, whether things work out or not, he served his purpose, and that he got you out of a relationship you didn't need to be in.
Let me get that out of my chest. Hang on.
You know what, though? Here's the thing.
Now it's not being shady, and it was not that
I know. It just didn't hurt.
But I told Sarah this in a conversation when she first told me about this. But Spano, I'm sorry, less than Sarah. But I thought the same thing about Spoon and Waffle. I was like, Spoon is gonna fucking crush Waffle. I thought it was very much a rebound type situation. Like, I was concerned about that because Waffle seemed like a sweet guy. Gooch seems like a sweet guy. I'm thinking, man, they're gonna crush him. But no, I mean, Spoon and Waffle are doing great. They're getting ready to get married. I got an invitation. Am I allowed to say that? It doesn't matter. I just did. Anyway, I got an invitation. So I was worried about that with you guys, and I asked you guys that together, and I asked Sarah, asked you individually, was, are you sure that this is real? And I mean, can you both say that, yes, this is real? This is not a...
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I used to say this about Spoon and Waffle too, because I got a lot of questions about them. And I used to say, if you see them together, you'll understand that it's right and that it's meant to be. And that's kind of how I oh my god, this is so like teenage girl. That's kind of how I feel about Kristen. I feel like it's
People have said
obvious
it too.
that it's right.
Okay.
So her friends actually, when I was up there, her friends actually said that.
Yeah, all of my friends were like, you know, saying how they had never seen me, you know, as happy or as comfortable or, you know, whatever. So, and that's not a slight to Will. I mean, it's just, yeah.
So, Misty Mosier, and actually this was something that was on my list. Are you guys worried about the negative feedback that you might get or the lashback that you might get, and do you have a plan on how to deal with that?
Honestly, I'm going to sound like a total douche right here, but...
You sound like a douche? No.
Oh, go fuck yourself, Tyrone. But no, honestly, I mean, we've talked about it, and I've talked about it with some people that I'm really close with, and we know the truth. We know what happened, and anybody who wants to say, "Oh, well, I told you so," or "I knew it," or blah blah blah, can go fuck themselves. I honestly don't care. If you don't believe what we're telling you that is the truth, because it is, I don't care.
Right.
Plain and simple.
What's your thought?
I mean, I definitely understand. I'm not dumb. Clearly, and you know, in hindsight, I see what other people saw. I see that clearly there was always something between us, but we really did not know. And you know, that is what it is. I know that people will, you know, have their own opinion and will talk behind our backs and will do all that stuff because it's human nature, and that doesn't even offend me. Like, that's cool. People like drama and they like, you know, whatever. I don't feel, the only thing that would bother me is if someone felt like they didn't want to watch my videos anymore or whatever because of this. I mean, this is my personal life, and it really doesn't have anything to do with my weight loss journey, and I don't think it has anything to do with the success that I've had or what I have to say about the weight loss journey or whatever. So I think that's the only thing that would bother me, is if people somehow felt like, you know, they couldn't accept choices that I made in my personal life and felt like they couldn't watch my videos anymore, couldn't get something useful from what I say about weight loss surgery because they think I'm an adulteress.
Right. Hey, Phil, just so you know, you're muted. There
Yeah.
There you go. You're good. No, now you're muted.
Okay, now I'm back. Okay. So I apologize if I missed this question because I really need more alcohol. But so a lot of questions.
Were you calling the waitress?
Please call the waitress. Put the little flag up on my table. I need service here.
Hey, well, before you go, I mean, we'll start getting in motion, but there's several people are asking about Will's point of view. So as long as everybody's good, I want to invite him now. Phil, you go ahead with your question while I'm inviting him.
I mean, Will can tag up on this, but I mean, like, okay, two things. One, yeah, let's bypass the kids thing for right now. Is, you know, Miss Moiza, I
already asked that.
Remember that. And I kind of had the same initial reaction, like, is there really any reason why you don't just keep this private? Like, we don't need to put all of it on YouTube, right? I mean, I know you guys have a lot of followers and you're high profile, and eventually maybe it might come out, but do you? Is there a reason that you have to put it out there? Like, why couldn't it just be on the down low?
I mean,
like, hey, her and Will are getting divorced, and that's going their separate ways, and blah, blah, blah. And whatever's happening in the background is, I think about some people who've had some split up since then, since weight loss surgery, and they've kind of like been, hey, I'm splitting up with my husband, but that's about all I'm going to say about it, and thus. Or I'm splitting with my wife, and that's all I'm going to say about that, but that's it. You know, is there a reason why you feel torn about that?
I think it would have never been private because I think there was enough people that knew or that suspected that would have talked about it. And I, you know, my background's in marketing, and I've, you know, done public relations and that sort of thing. And like, all I can think about is that it's important to control the message and the timing yourself. And for me, that was what it was about. Instead of having people talk about it and spread rumors and do all this stuff, I wanted to just put the truth out there. Whether people choose to believe it or not, that's kind of their business. And, you know, but I've done my part, and I've been honest about what's going on. And I hope that it will actually help, just like anything else that I talk about, you know, on my channel. I mean, I hope it's something that will help other people. in some way. If there's one person that gets some kind of insight from it, then you know, it's worth it to be open about it.
Yeah, and the other thing, I mean, we're together. We're going to be at the Obesity Help Conference in, what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks? There's no way that we are going to say, there's Willie.
Yeah.
We're not going to hide it. We're not going to flaunt it. I mean, we're not going to hide it. We didn't. And honestly, if people who knew us, like anybody who was in Tampa that is going to be at OH, saw the way if we were trying to do the, you know, oh, we're not together, we're whatever, they would look at it as fake. They'd be like, what's wrong with the two of them? Why are they acting like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have no choice but to be public just because of the situation. So it kind of felt like we.
Oh my God, Will!
Oh.
Sorry, bad.
You need to,
Hold on. Oh shit.
Hold on.
you're joined twice, brother.
Shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let me eject
Sorry,
one of you.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, just think about Tyrone.
Yeah, well, I ejected. Well, I can't. Otherwise, I'll have to block. There we go. Okay, so now we got one Will. So Will, need you to put some headphones in, buddy. If you're still there.
Oh,
No, he's not.
coming back. Don't worry.
We'll go back to
internet.
He'll be back. So now's a good time for everybody to go take your bio breaks and refill your drinks.
Oh, it's not really a good time because there's another question.
Okay, go ahead.
Sleever Mendez says, does anyone that is married and has WLS ever stay together? Lol, I ponder this, and it scares me. And I think that's a natural reaction. I think that Tyrone, I know you're a single man, but your brother...
My brother's still married, and Phil's still married.
And Phil's still married, and lots of people are still married. It's just
I'm not saying that... I'm not saying it's not still working, that the weight loss didn't add a new dynamic to that work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that your brother would probably agree with that.
I think that once weight loss surgery happens, any problems that you have become magnified. So if you have problems, they're going to become bigger problems once you have the weight loss.
Big spotlight on them.
Yeah, and if you're not able to reconcile them, it's going to be over. I mean, I guess that's the short and sweet answer.
It's a test by fire, right? So you're either going to address the problems or it's going to burn you up. Like you're either going to put that fire out or it's going to consume you completely. It will light fire to any problem you have.
That's what I've said in all of my videos. So first of all, props to the secretary.
Yeah, I think we all have one, right?
I don't have mine. I left it in the other room. Shit.
What?
I drank the whole thing.
Flip.
No, I got mine too.
Right.
Just so everybody knows. I got a couple of them. But yeah,
You stole your brother's.
I did.
As with any good court case, first of all, I will clarify that we do have the right to not self-incriminate. We don't call it the fifth, but we do have the same right, Phil.
That's
Just
true,
so
yes.
you know.
Thank God.
Yeah.
At least the Queen gave you that.
Yes.
At least she gave it
took
to
it.
you. We took it. but
Anyways.
you got it.
So
Okay.
I want to make sure that everybody is sitting down because I know that there has been a lot of people that have been fucked up and about all of this.
Well, wait, before you go any further, Will, this is like, it really is, and I made the comment to you guys, it's like watching an episode of like Twilight Zone. It's fucking weird. Are you
Dude,
like, is something wrong with you? Like, why aren't you killing
honestly,
Gooch?
I went through a lot of shit and hellfire. Yes, Philip, you've got your hand up.
No, I'm saying I'm weirded out by it.
Okay. Prepare for the weirdness to continue. So let me explain something really quickly and very simply.
Quickly and simply is the key words in those sentences, just so we're clear.
Sarah and I had the conversation on Thursday and we confirmed it on Saturday that we were going to separate.
Not this past Thursday and Saturday.
No. Weeks.
Yeah, this actually, I don't know whether people understand that when Will and I made that video, we'd already been separated for like 5 weeks. This happened like 2 months.
No, this is a long-term thing. You guys are just hearing about now, but no, this is a long time to
This
make.
happened quite a
People
while.
who are in the know, we know.
The people on the inside who know.
Anyways, so let me explain something really quickly. So Thursday and Friday that happened with the discussions with Sarah and I and everything. Sarah went to karaoke on Sunday by herself, and I was.
Oh, that's the end of it right there. You should never let her go to karaoke bars.
Never. I sat down and I FaceTimed with Chris, and I knew the situation.
But yes.
And I told Chris the following. I said, Chris, our relationship is over. Sarah and I are not going to get back together. We are not going to reconcile. That is not something that was happening. Marriage counseling only works if both of you want to try and save it. And at that point,
what, Will?
it was over.
Let me
finish. This is your show, but I'm going to finish.
Go ahead.
I told Chris the following. I said, because I know Sarah had told her feelings, and I knew how Chris was, and I said to Chris, Chris, be very clear. I do not want your feelings and your concerns about the possibility of our relationship ever being salvaged to get in the way of you feeling what you need to feel. If you have feelings, feel them, acknowledge them, and that is the best thing that you can do for yourself, for me, for Sarah, and all of the above. And that's what I said to him. And
that's almost word for word what he said to me, yeah.
I'm still listening. I'm just getting chewed. Go ahead.
That is, like, everybody that has seen the +1 video that I've done so far talked about the relationship and talked about Sarah and I, and it was a very hard video to make because I wanted to go on and on and on and on and on about the whole thing about Chris and I and the whole thing about Chris and Sarah and all that. And there will be videos about that. That will come. And there will be more to talk about in that. The fact is that Chris and I are friends. We were friends before. We are still friends. I do not am happy with or enjoy the fact that our relationship is over with Sarah. How could I be? It's a fact. It's not a hard thing to say. It's a fact. But I have looked at and acknowledged both my head and my heart. And it took a long time for my heart to get back squared with what my feelings were about all of this. But acknowledging both feelings, acknowledging both aspects of my personality, and acknowledging both aspects of this whole situation, I am now able to deal with it. And I look at the balance of factors. I said this in the video. I have the following priorities. Myself first. And everybody that has kids are like, oh my God, how can you say that? The kids have to come first. No, the kids don't come first. I come first. If you're in a plane with the kids, what do they say? The masks descend from the ceiling, put your own mask on first. If I am not able to be a good father and take care and be a whole person then I can't be a good father. So I have to be a whole person, be a good father. I have to be then a good father for my children. I then have to maintain the relationship that Sarah and I have, because we will always have a relationship. We will always be together. She will always be the mother of my children. We will be a family till the day we die. Then I have to take care of Sarah. Sarah has to be healthful, and I have to do what I can to support her being healthful and all of that. Because otherwise, if she's not healthful, then she can't be a good mother. And if she can't be a good mother, then that affects my children, and that affects me. Then, and this is the part that I couldn't say in the video before, but I will say now. The part is that I have to maintain Sarah's and Chris's relationship. I have to do what I can to help them be wholesome in their relationship. Because if Sarah can be wholesome in a relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean with Chris, it just means in general. If Sarah can be whole in a relationship, then she will be happy. And if she is happy, she will be a better mother. And she will be a better mother, she will be better with me. And then following on that, it is Chris. Chris is my friend. Chris is the person with whom Sarah has chosen to be with. And I have a couple of differences to say about that. First of all, it is much easier for me to know how it is much easier for me to deal with Chris and Sarah as a couple because I know the man that Chris is. And I'm not going to blow too much smoke up his ass because he's going to get his head all inflated and it's going to be disgusting. But the fact is that Chris is a really good guy. Chris will be a good partner for Sarah, and he will be good with my kids. Our kids, love him. They think he is awesome. And the fact is that counts for a lot. Sarah, unfortunately, in all of this situation, doesn't know. She doesn't know what slutbags I'm going to be dating and going out with, and so on and so forth. She doesn't have that assurity that I'm going to be with somebody who will be good for our children. Obviously, I will only ever consider my children. Well, you know,
herpes are forever, man. Just remember, herpes are forever.
Herpes are forever. No glove, no love.
That's right. No party without a balloon, brother.
No party without a balloon. The fact is that I know that Sarah doesn't. So that's a bit of a mind flip that I'm actually in a better position than Sarah is.
Let's explore that, Will. Yeah. I mean, I know that you're going on a diatribe, but that could go on for hours. So I'm going to stop.
We gotta. Short and to the point.
Short and to the point. That stopped 20 minutes ago. But so. Have you went to Piggy's yet? Have you had a Porky's love experience yet? Have I
dipped my wick in the pool of women that are available?
That's right. Have you got your chlamydia yet?
I need more whiskey.
I know the answer.
I know the answer.
I want Will to answer that. No one else. No one else.
I know the answer too, but I want everybody to know the answer.
The answer is yes. I have gone out on dates, and there was one that went physical. Yes.
It went physical? Did you beat the shit out of her, or what do you mean by physical?
No, mommy. No.
What Will means is that although I was the first to pursue another relationship, he was technically the first adulterer in our relationship.
Oh!
See what she did there, Will? Do you see what she did there?
See what she did there? I see what she did there.
She flipped it on you.
That may be used as evidence against me in a court of law, just saying.
That's right.
There goes your...
I'm a virgin. I claim the fifth.
There goes your palimony, brother. That's what that is.
The fact of the matter is that I was never that person. I never played the field. And so vicariously Sarah will live through me in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I've realized is that I need to be happy. I need to figure out what's going to make me happy. And I never really was able to actualize that.
Dirty whores will make you happy, I guess.
Dirty hoe. That's right.
I don't know. I can't understand this.
Amen.
I want everybody to realize this. Understand that Chris and I are good. We really,
I get that,
really
but
are. I don't want to punch him out. I don't want to smash him in the face.
That's a very Canadian.
See, Canadian education works, folks.
That's a very Canadian thing. Americans, we punch each other and then we're friends. That's how it works.
That's true. I've seen more guys go to blows.
Let's be clear. I'm going to slap him in the face a bit.
No. Let me tell you something. Look, Americans, I've seen guys get out of their cars, beat the shit out of each other, and then shake hands and get back in their cars and drive away.
Mm-hmm. That's the American way.
It is the American way.
If you want, Phil, the next time we see each other, I'll give you a shot.
I accept your challenge, and I raise you these.
I'm gonna show you my guns.
I'm bringing the guns to Canada.
I don't. I have a pea shooter.
Listen, I'm not worried about Obama taking these guns.
You should be. No, you actually have a prime minister with balls. Never mind.
So,
Keep
so
going.
here's the thing: is actually downsizing Mel. She asked about counseling, and that's what I was going to stop you and say. And
Okay,
here's
so let me
here's my
explain
well,
counseling.
hold on.
Wait, let him ask the fucking question, Will.
Let me finish, Will. So here's my thing: is that on counseling, I'm making more of a statement than a question. So counseling helps you identify your problems. They don't help you necessarily fix your problems. They help you identify your problems. If you already know your problems in your relationship, counseling will do zero. And that's my thought on it. Go ahead, Will.
No,
Wait.
let me explain my thought about
Before you
counseling.
respond, this is breaking news. This shit's important.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Wiziwa, I can't say it still.
Miss
Wants to
Melissa?
know if Will is taking applications.
Oh.
Some previously
Well-
fat bastard did mention this to you in a private conversation. Is all I'm saying.
Let me
Ladies
just
of
say
the
this.
WLS community, Will is single and available, and I have references if you need them. That's all.
I'm
saying.
totally going. I said it on your guys' divorce video. Is that I'm totally gonna tap that. And I've never been with a man, but Will, I'm gonna fuck you right in your ass, just so you know. Whenever we
Well,
see
you're
you,
gonna have to wait till E is done because E has designs on this.
E,
Yeah,
no,
For the
he does like
for the
it.
record, you got to get in line. I got Mr.
And we
E
and
Joey.
wait,
And
and
the
E
problem
I
is
hear is the
I
bottom.
can't have sex with Joey. I can't have sex with Joey because unfortunately Joey is married.
Well, it doesn't
Like,
matter.
he is
but
the
I don't
bottom.
want to be a
Sonny.
gooch. I
But
don't
no.
want to be a gooch and have sex with a married woman.
Oh,
Oh.
TJ, pass me that fucking lube. Oh my god.
oh,
Ah.
oh, that hurt.
I feel some anger there, but fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, is Sonny okay with it? If Sonny condones it, you can have Joey all day.
Oh wow.
That's all.
Wait a minute, Joey might be a power top. You don't know.
I don't know. That's the problem.
I don't know. You know, I haven't asked.
But
asked.
E we know is
Is a bottom act or
Bottom.
no? Yeah, he's a bottom.
he's a
Bottom.
bottom. I'm
As
just
long as I can
saying.
take a video, that's all I care about. I think I should still get dibs on taking a video because we're
Yeah,
technically
Sarah just wants
still
to
married.
watch.
We're technically
I don't
still
know.
married, so
I
you know.
saw that video with E telling his dog to get off the bed with his silk fucking pajamas, and I'm actually pretty fucking heterosexual, but I was like, I'm gonna fuck you.
I mean, look. I have repeatedly requested a priest to turn me gay because they have these priests that can turn you straight, apparently. But I have repeatedly requested for one priest to figure out how to turn me gay because there is no downside to this as long as I can get around the whole fellatio/anal sex thing. You know,
You
as
know,
long as you
Phil,
get
I
around
think-
that.
Phil,
is it?
Phil, for
But
the
wait,
record,
you
for the
said-
record, I'm pretty sure that you won't care who's sucking it.
I've been known to turn a
If I'm
man
a
gay.
top, I guess I'd be okay.
Hey, Katie says she got balloons, Will. There's no party without balloons, and Katie has
There's no
balloons.
party without balloons. So for the record, I am apparently on the market, and it is Sarah's job to convince others that I am worthy.
Look, I'll
Hey,
convince
so,
others, motherfucker.
Just
I'm
to
telling
add,
you right. I
on
told you this
video-
shit. I'm calling dibs on this shit right now. I told you, Will. I said this in a private chat. I'm going to share it now. There are a lot of women in this community, a lot of them, that are probably lined up for that shit secretly.
For
I
Will
think after
shit?
this show, you're gonna get some sympathy emails at least. You can have a line, so you have to.
Well,
you
here's
have
the
a
thing
choice.
is that Will...
Because
The
I feel
marketing
like
tool is
there's
Will
a
is
lot
going
of
to be in OH, so you know
He
any
will.
Will's gonna be
single
an
lady-
OH and he's gonna have his own room apparently.
He
so.
will, but here's the thing is that Will is called more Will, but he's actually become less of Will. He's
No,
looking
he's-
pretty fit.
He's more of Will though, where it matters. Is what I'm
That's
saying.
right.
Well, you know what they say, when you lose how much pounds does it grow?
It grows. But here's the thing is that Sarah has told me repeatedly that Will is hung like a baby's arm. So
It's true.
Holding an apple. Holding an apple.
holding an apple.
One could only wish and one could only aspire to be like Philip.
I'm just
You
saying.
be
that there's
quiet
a lot-
right now.
Here's the thing. You know what? That opens the door to a story. So me and Phil,
Oh,
I'm
boy.
going to tell this story anyway. So me, Phil, and Allison, Phil's wife, we are on a way to We're either on our way to dinner.
Oh my gosh, she's
we're
watching,
on our
so
way-
please be careful.
Or we're on our way from dinner. And I was like, for some reason, penis size came up. And she just went on and on about how girthy Phil's penis is. So I just want to put it
I'm never going to get access to that again now, thanks.
I just want to put it out there that Phil is well endowed.
I just need to say
Anyway,
the following.
That's all lies. It's not true.
Of the men in this hangout that I have had experiences with, there's a lot of sexual prowess.
It's barely like this.
Anyone who would be happy.
Barely this, so don't get excited.
He's very thick was the exact
Shut
words.
your fucking mouth.
I can neither confirm nor deny that about Phil. I can neither
So
confirm.
you
No, you can't deny it all you would like. You have no concept. Kirk can argue the point, but that's it.
I have a picture of that, so I can say that Kirk might know.
I might have been semi-molested by Kirk. I'm just going to say it out loud.
You could almost scream rape, I think.
Oh,
but
it's this close to rape.
Kirk actually got in Chris's pants before me. Like, way before me.
He can't.
But
It was really
Kirk got
close
up
for
my
me,
shirt too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
So
funny.
wait,
Although,
I see a
let's
question that
Very
Allison
clear, the
Olsen
Tyrone
wants to know
video-
what a power
the
top
Tyrone
is.
intro video has
A
Tyrone
power-
being
Yeah,
very
but-
intimate with Sarah.
Chris, you shut your hole.
So
What is a
Allison
po-
wants to know what a power top is. So a power top is somebody who
No, wait, it's in a
Yes,
gay
it-
thing.
they give it fucking
In a gay relationship, it's the
and
giver,
no,
not the
it's
receiver.
not a gay relationship. It can be in a fucking heterosexual. So
You're actually
Allison,
correct. So most males are power tops.
they are. So Allison, if you are not getting pounded hard enough, you do not have a power top.
Ouch.
No comment.
Oh, God. Well, there's be no more power top here now, thanks.
So
It was pretty bad before, and now it's really bad.
Let's digress.
Really bad.
Let's
I might be
digress a little
going
bit.
out, hanging
No,
out
no,
at the
no,
singles
no.
club with Will after this show.
I have a very important
Hey
question.
Phil, I need a wingman. I need a wingman.
Wait,
You
wait,
might have
wait.
one.
You know what? I'll mute all you fuckers because I fucking am running this shit.
Yeah, that's an important question. Everyone shut
This
your
is
hole.
an important question, and it's for Sarah. So,
Yeah.
is it
Yes,
all
I love
about girth or is it about length? If you
It's
had
both.
to choose,
It's
no,
both.
no. If you
It's
had to
both.
choose between girth or length, which is it?
No, Tyrone. It's about 4 things. Okay.
Okay.
Listen to me.
Oh shit, your camera,
Or
Four.
your camera's drunk. It's getting.
Oh my
dark.
God, there's 4?
4. There's length.
Okay.
There's girth.
Okay.
There's
Stamina.
No.
Oh,
There's
firmness. Okay.
and then there's skill.
Skill.
Stamina is not important actually, because I'm pretty easy. Those 4 things are important. I'm not that in. I don't really care about length so much. Girth is vaguely important.
hmm
Firmness is also important, but skill is really the most important of all. That's how I feel.
And that's what I get into. I'm all about skill because you know what? If my cock can't get hard, I still have my fingers, and you know what? Actually, that's it as far as tongue. So you're not getting that. So I have my fingers. I can deal with vibrators, all that. But
so I have one dimension over you, is what you're saying.
you do, yeah. If you can use your tongue, and
Notice how long your tongue is,
So-
Phil.
I am a cunning linguist. Let's leave it at that.
it doesn't matter. I can attest
fist.
because- You gotta put your fist up, Phil. Fist.
Perfect.
You need a fist will, is what I'm saying.
Bro fist.
I love when everybody's drunk. But here's the deal: is that so?
I'm buzzed.
So I'm gonna let everybody in on a little known secret, right? I mean, I know Sarah knows, Gooch knows, Will knows, Phil knows, and of course, Penny Lane knows. I am not a fan of the cunnilingus. So I'm all about,
that's true.
Not about going down south.
That's right. So, I can deal with hands. I can deal with vibrators. I can deal with extra objects into the mix. So I'll get you taken care of. But this is not doing anything for anybody.
TJ or Tyrone, you're doing it wrong.
No, I'm just saying I have no tongue.
Not doing it at all.
Okay, so let's get into some more questions. So they're not on here, but I'm going to ask you. So, Will, I mean, how can you not be fucking angry at Gooch?
So here's the thing. So the question is that how am I not angry at Gooch? So here, let me answer it like this. It's two things. One, my relationship has ended with Sarah, and my relationship ended with Sarah with or without Chris. Chris has been the catalyst, and I said this in the video that was, if Chris wasn't in the mix, or whomever, Phil or other person.
Hey, whoa! I got enough fucking problems in this house. Don't bring my fucking name up, okay?
Right.
Other countries, but not Canada. Okay, I already have enough problems. All right, let's leave it at that.
Canada. I just want to verify.
Canada.
Christ on a cracker.
Anyways, the fact is that our relationship really was going to end. It really was. It had passed the point of retrievability. And so without Chris, there would have been another 2, maybe 3 years of sort of moderately okay, kind of neutral. I mean, I'm going to get all geeky on you for a second, but anybody that's ever worked with spreadsheets knows the concept of a null. It wasn't
anybody who deals with a
zero,
database. A database will deal with nulls. But
null.
Go ahead.
It was a null. It was a blank. There was nothing there. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just non-existent. And there were times where it was good and there was times where it was bad, and it would flip-flop back and forth. Sarah developing feelings for somebody else, regardless of who it was, forced the issue. And it allowed us to deal with it at the time. Honestly, 2 more years of nothing would have just been resentment and bitterness that eventually started to deal with that and start to affect the way that we interacted with each other, and that would have been the end of it. And it would have been bitter and acrimonious, and there would have been all kinds of shit. Sarah and I have honestly gotten along better in the last 4 or 5 weeks than we have in the last 2 or 3 years. And it's not to say that it hasn't been easy. There's been shit and tears and anger and frustration and so on and so forth. But on the whole, here's the situation. I honestly believe this, and this is something that I've said to Sarah and I've said to Chris. I will eventually find someone. It's not going to happen right away. I'm not ready for another relationship, and I won't be ready for another relationship.
That's not what you told me, bitch. I thought I was something special to you.
No, but I won't be ready for another relationship.
When you were pounding me, you were
you were giving it to me hard in the ass.
You were like, Tyrone,
you said it was love.
You did. You said, Tyrone, you mean everything to me.
You too,
Tyrone? You know what, Phil? It was that
this motherfucker says the same thing to every guy he fucks. That's
he
all
does.
I'm saying.
He really does.
Phil, let's be clear. It was the lily white skin and the pale alabaster smoothness.
It was this. Okay, don't lie. I'm just gonna say it right now.
I've never seen Phil show off the guns more.
Guys.
Yeah, Phil.
You made me take my clothes off for the show. I mean,
I did, but that's because I have no clothes on.
That's why I have to do this. I have to like.
I'm not wearing any pants, just so everybody's clear.
Can I just say this is the 5-way of my dreams? I just need to say that.
This is gonna be like a 5-hour show. Nobody's gonna have to watch
2 in the morning. There's gonna be one person left in the feed. And they're like, will you guys please shut the fuck up, please? I need to go to bed.
They're like, fuck, I'll watch this later, and they'll never watch it. But anyway,
No one will ever watch
No
it.
one
Thank
will
God.
watch
That's
the
my
whole
place.
thing.
Australia will still be tuned in. They'll be like,
but
what the
you
fuck
know,
are these crazy
but
Yanks talking
really,
about?
honestly, here's my hope for this show is that we get everything out. I really don't care if it goes 5 hours. And every time somebody asks Gooch, Sarah, or Will a question, they say, go watch this fucking show. So they don't have to deal with it anymore.
That's what I
They
plan
can
on
just
doing.
go on with their lives. Yeah.
And that's just it. And so I honestly think that I feel grateful for Chris in one respect. And this
Oh, Christ.
you want to talk about how fucked up this is?
Shut up, Phil.
Oh, no!
Wait,
No,
no,
take it
Phil.
away.
No, Phil.
Okay,
No,
Phil,
Phil.
you can go rock in the
No,
corner.
Phil.
You can go hug your knees in the corner. Just shut up.
Hey, Will,
Fine.
just so you
Don't
know,
hug me.
I have you on. Nobody else can see anybody but you. So go ahead.
There you go. So the fact of the matter is that without Chris, Sarah and I would not be able to continue to be friends. Sarah and I would not be able to be amicable and friendly and deal with our children in a way that makes it easy for them. Here is the fact. Sarah and I will continue to have discussions, and we will have hard discussions, and we will have painful discussions, and we will continue to have difficult times. But the fact of the matter is that the end result is that Chris and Sarah and myself and person X will be friends, will be friendly, will continue to understand the situation, because I will not enter into a relationship with somebody who does not know that I am friends with Sarah and that I am good with Sarah and I am good with her ex, and the fact is that she is the mother of my children and we continue to have a relationship and we are a family. And if that person X can't handle that, then person X isn't going to be in my life.
You should use person L.
Person L.
Person P.
Yeah.
Person W.
No,
for
it
women.
is person X is the
But
is
the
proper.
thing is that
But I like
do I
L better.
see Sarah and like the four of us plus Xavier and Zane, and if there were any other kids ever to happen or be, who knows? She might have kids.
There's no procreating here, I'll tell you that much.
No, that's fine. But she might have kids from a previous relationship too. I
Okay.
don't know. But the fact of the matter is that I do not see a situation where if she didn't have kids, that the six of us wouldn't be able to deal. I honestly, look, we're going to OH. Sarah and Chris are going to OH together. I'm going to OH by myself. I do not see a situation in the future where I don't have somebody that can deal with that reality.
Wait a minute. You're going to OH. You're going to OH.
Yes.
To be supportive, I appreciate that. Even when I was divorced, I was very supportive of the mother of my children. There's no doubt about that, hands down.
Wait. Hold on. Before you go any further, how did you feel if you thought, I'm not going to get into specifics, but if you thought that your ex was hooking up with somebody else? I mean, how did you feel about that, Phil?
It sent me into a madness, dude. And I mean, well, I don't have to think about it. I knew it was happening. So that drove me nuts because it was like, what did I not bring to the table that so-and-so's bringing to the table? Why could she make the effort for so-and-so and not for me? Or, all this bullshit that goes on in your head that goes on. But that's what I'm saying. So, like, how do you go to, I mean, I get you going to OH to be supportive and you're being very,
It's borderline
about
retarded.
the whole situation, but
I know retarded is not politically correct, but
being very
in my
supportive of
mind,
this.
no. Phil will call it supportive. I'll call it retarded. But go ahead, Phil.
But my point being, like, I mean, other than, God, this is gonna be so guy-like, and I'm gonna totally fuck you here. But other than hoping to get us getting some sympathy play out of weight loss community, what the fuck are you even going for? Like, stay home and drink a bottle of vodka, dude. Just let this shit go. Just don't go. Like, I don't know how you. It's one thing to acknowledge it and accept it. I get that, but it's another thing to see it. Like, I don't fucking want to see it. You know what I mean? Let it go. Like, just let it go happen and like do your thing.
So let me explain this.
Yeah. How are you not justifying it, but how are you coming to terms with it?
Hey, stop abusing your mic, please.
All right.
You told me to drink.
I
You told me to drink a lot.
Sarah. I have always loved Sarah. I will continue to love Sarah. I will love Sarah for the rest of my life. She is one of my best friends. She will always be one of my best friends. How could I? Okay, so let's, for example, Phil. Like, let's take TJ. Let's say TJ was going to, like, let's say that you didn't have this whole scenario, this whole situation, but you were never fat Phil, and TJ was fat TJ, and TJ lost all this weight, and then all of a sudden TJ's going to go to something and deal with it, and then he's going to speak and be a mentor to the people,
Oh,
I
I see
waft.
what you did there.
I should never be the mentor of the people. So here's
No,
the
no,
deal.
that's why. But
Never
that's
should.
why the dichotomy, Tyrone,
Right.
the dichotomy is the
Mhm.
fact is that I chose you as opposed to Phil.
Okay.
But you would go to OH to support your friend.
Sure.
No. I would go there
support-
for the women, and I would bang every one of them if I was single.
Honestly, there is something to be said. I haven't talked about this in and this was something because of course I knew what was going on. My video was very sort of about our relationship, and my next video on my own channel, not to plug it, will be about the fact that this is what it is. I identify with the weight loss surgery
hold on.
community
Are we doing a
very
live
well.
after this? Are me, you, and Penny doing a live after this or no?
We better make it.
No,
another
not
night.
after this. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say another show.
Another
Okay.
show. But I identify with the weight loss surgery community. My own shit in my own life allows me to identify with the weight loss surgery community. I wasn't necessarily ever fat, Will, but I dealt with a lot of the shit about that.
No. I can attest you
You were fat, Will. Yeah.
I was fat, Will.
You were. You are not
You
any
had it,
longer.
yeah.
You are looking very fit these days, but you were fat,
Yes.
Will.
Yes, he is, ladies.
Yeah,
William
no,
Vaughn.
Phil, or not Phil, I'm sorry, Will is looking very fit
I
these days.
want
I'm looking very
everybody to
fit,
realize
motherfucker.
No, Phil looks like shit. I've seen him. He looks like shit. You want to go for Will if you're looking for anybody.
That's true.
Say it.
Well, it's
When I saw Will for the first time in almost a month, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!"
yeah,
he
he
almost
was-
left track for Will.
I
He
saw
almost-
something. I don't know if it was a picture on Facebook or a video or what. I was like, fucking Will is getting all kinds of fit.
I realized this, and this is the thing that I never realized in my relationship, and I'm going to talk about this in future videos, but I'm going to say it right here, right now. I always thought that I needed to change to make Sarah happy in our relationship. I now realize that I don't need to change for Sarah. I never should have wanted to change for Sarah. I should have changed and fixed myself for me and for the boys. And now I'm doing that. My priorities are me first, then the boys, as I said before. It's not real till it's Facebook real. My heart, my sympathy goes out to Spoon, Nerd in Oregon. Listen, if anybody else other than you knows the pain of losing Sarah, I do.
I had
Chris
to
and
divorce Spoon today.
Leslie,
I know the
Sarah,
pain
and
of
Gooch
losing
are
Sarah.
now in a relationship, and it's not real till it's Facebook real, but now it's Facebook real.
Now it is.
No, it's YouTube real. It's totally different.
YouTube
Yeah,
real.
it's
It's not
worse.
Facebook real yet.
I know the pain of losing Sarah. I had my taint on Sarah's chest for like 3 seconds, and it was amazing.
But there's always video evidence, Tyrone. There's always video evidence.
I can prove it. That's the difference. Is I can prove everything I've done with Sarah. I don't think
Now-
Gooch can say
I have
that.
pictures of some of those things actually.
The question I have is that okay? So honestly, like everybody's asking, everybody's wondering, am I really good with this? I
Right.
wasn't. Even though I faked that, or even though I thought I was, I didn't feel that way. Now I do. Now I'm both.
But
Watch
do you
my
really
video.
mean
But
that,
dude,
Will?
really?
Do you really mean that, Will? Are you
I do.
really good with this?
Because
I
you
am
have
okay
to be, or because you?
No, look, there's a pragmatist aspect of it that says that I can't, if Sarah wants to, that's fine. I can't change that. But and that's reality, and I have to choose the way things are and accept things the way that they are. Not that I wish that they would be, but look, I am okay with this. I really am, and I'm not just faking that. I'm not just saying that. For a while, I was denying certain feelings about it that were natural and normal. Like, yes, I felt betrayed. I felt hurt. I felt slighted. I felt replaced. And you know what? Here's the thing. Feelings are not facts. They
Yeah,
are
but
not.
Will, wait a second. All right, here's some no bullshit questions for you for a turn. Were you being self-destructive though because of those feelings? Do you think you were making self-destructive decisions in this process?
No. Okay, so let me explain that. I wanted to be, I could understand that I had my head feelings and I had my heart feelings, and my heart feelings were negative, completely negative, and my head feelings were completely positive. And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't want to be negative. I don't want to live there because that's a shitty place to be. So I'm going to ignore these other feelings because they're not friendly. They're not happy. And they affected the way that I acted. I acted in certain aspects like a complete douche nozzle.
Hey, I gotta totally interrupt you because VSG Warrior just put Shomer Chavez, and that is a reference to Big Lebowski. So I gotta give props.
Well
Listen,
played,
Warrior.
I abide.
Well
That's right.
played.
I abide. The fact is that I abide.
That's right. We all abide, right?
We do abide, yes.
So here's the thing about Will. Again, I'm plugging Will. I'm trying to sell you, Will.
You are trying to plug Will, aren't you?
Listen,
I know, I really am. But no, no. Here's the deal: is that
Oh shit, it's Facebook.
private?
Will.
No. In private conversation, when Will wasn't there, so there's no reason for anybody to say anything that is a lie, right? I know that Will can go for hours. I just want to put that out there for the ladies. Will is he is a stamina
A mensch,
machine.
as the Israelis like to call it.
I also wanted to say the following. Sexual prowess aside, Will has the greatest ass you've ever seen in your life.
Oh yeah, I have a nice bum.
Greatest ass you've ever seen. I mean,
But is it tight? I'm not talking about the ass. I'm talking about the asshole. The actual hole itself, is it nice and tight?
Arm, you can bounce a quarter off it. Every gay man in the world would kill to
No. See, Sarah,
And
you're
it's
talking
fine.
about the gluteus maximus. You're talking about the muscles. I'm talking about
Chris,
the fucking
Chris has the
hole.
face right now, just for the record. Chris has the dirty face.
It's not the dirty face, it's the oh my god face.
We went from 60 viewers to 35 viewers, so I think that comment was bad. Either that or everybody's going to sleep at this point. But Will, I want you to say anything that
Anytime soon.
I don't have a lot. There's not a lot of questions for Will other than I want Will's take on this. So Will, I mean, really honestly, I mean, don't fucking hold back. Let it out. What is your true
you can
feelings?
reference people to this video. Like you can say, look, I've said all I'm gonna fucking say. Go watch this video.
Right. No. Yeah. That's the thing. That's what this video's for. That's why it's gone fucking 3 hours. Is because.
All right. So you want to know how I feel?
I want you guys to be able to say, I don't want to talk about it. Go watch this video. So say anything you want to say. I don't care if it offends Sarah. I don't care if it offends me. I don't care if it offends Will. Or I'm sorry, Gooch. I don't care if it offends Phil. I don't care who it offends. You say what you honestly want to say. Go ahead.
So I had to deal with the fact that of the following. I'm going to list it out. In very, very short order, I had to deal with the fact that I had a major self-realization in Hampton about myself. I will talk about that in another video. But then I had to deal with the fact that I had that realization. I had to deal with
Wait. I'm sorry. I totally lied to you, Will. What the fuck is walking behind you? I just saw these legs like prancing against the fucking
that is
windowsill.
Dexter Ebenezer McShits III.
An attack could be imminent, so stay tuned.
That's fucking scary. Look at that. Will is so badass he has pussy on his head. Okay, go ahead,
That's
Will.
it.
While he's answering the question.
That's right.
Anyways, I had to deal with the fact that my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We have only partially. There he is.
Fucking hell, Will. You locked up, motherfucker. Oh, no. That's the worst time in the world for Will to lock up. He's probably going to drop here in a second.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, while Will's dropping, okay, Will dropped. He'll be back in a second. So I really do want everybody to be able to get out what they want to get out. So, Gooch, you haven't said fucking shit during this whole thing.
Well,
so
that was because Will was talking, but
no, it was, but really, I mean, Gooch has kind of gotten run over during this whole thing. My new nickname for Gooch is Yoko, and he says that he gets pissed about that. So everybody, please continue to call Gooch Yoko. And I know it hurts his feelings, so please do it more.
we'll toughen him up this way, though.
So we're gonna go through this one by one because we really gotta wrap it up because it's very long. So I'm gonna start with Gooch, then Sarah, then Will. I'll let you have as much time as you want. So Gooch, is there anything you want to say that if somebody comes to you asking questions, that you could say, you know what, motherfucker, just go watch this video, whether it's love or hate, just get it out. Go ahead, Gooch.
Well, let's see. I think if anybody asks me questions, then I'll just tell them to go fuck themselves. So, well, no, that's kind of rude. If they ask me questions I don't like, I'll tell them to go fuck themselves. No, I mean, I think between all of us, we've pretty much covered everything. I do want to address one question, or two questions from the same person that I just happen to see. From, where'd they go? From her YouTube name is the Fat Chick. I'm not calling her the Fat Chick. She said something about something about Will not being able to be friends with the man who cheated with his wife. If you have paid any attention to what we've said here, including Will, cheating wasn't an issue.
I will testify.
Yes.
I will never mind. You know what?
Everybody
Fuck
here
that.
agrees.
I will
that
testify.
No cheating going on.
And then she had another question. Does Sarah feel bad? Why?
You can't answer that, Gooch.
Like, I can't answer that, but...
So you shouldn't have brought it up because you can't answer it.
No, go ahead, Gooch. This is your time to say.
Well, no, I could just ask her to define. Does Sarah feel bad about what?
Right, but no, Gooch, this is about you. Like your personal feelings on this, because I feel like, in a certain sense, and I have you focused on this, so they can't even see me, other than in the little fucking thing down here.
Well, I can see you.
Okay, no, I'm just saying that the general fucking people watching this is. I mean, if there's anything you want to say, really, I mean, get it off your chest now. That way, you can just refer people back to this and say, listen. If there's anything you want to know, go watch this because I said everything I have to say about this. I don't want to address it anymore. So if there's anything you want to say, good, bad, in between, please do it now.
No, I think I've said pretty much all of it. Sarah and Will have said a lot. You guys have said a lot. Tyrone, the Kahlua was talking over there for Phil.
I have no Kahlua in this house, for the record.
Anymore?
No, there was never none. There was never any.
That's a lie. I know that you made frappuccinos with fucking Kahlua.
Not tonight, I did not. Not tonight.
Oh, no.
I witnessed that.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, honestly,
Whiskey and
everything that we've all said.
I mean, is there anything hate directed at you, Gooch? Because really, you're kind of new to the community.
No, I mean,
right?
there's hate directed at me. It was funny. Like I don't know if I told you guys before. I was like, yep, I wrote down my YouTube subscribers and my Facebook friend count, and I'm expecting it to plummet. And it is what it is. I don't care. Huh?
Is there Gooch?
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say that you want to get out there now that you think people might ask you, or that you're feeling? Or that you've had fucking flack on?
No, honestly, I mean, everybody's been supportive. It's for all three of us. So I'm good.
All your friends have, anyway. The people who actually care
exactly.
about
the people that actually care about me and care about us, have been nothing but supportive. So.
Okay. Good deal. All right, Sarah, you got the you are on focus. What do you want to say?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the people who have kind of helped us through this, and I'm not going to name names, but there's definitely people who knew from the beginning what was going on, and I want to thank everyone who's been supportive. The truth is, up till now, we haven't had a lot of negative commentary, and I expect that people are going to talk about it. I expect that there will be people who don't believe what we're saying, and that's cool. I mean, you can believe whatever you want about what's going on. The only reason we chose to be open about it is just so that people were aware. We don't have anything to hide. We're not ashamed. Will and I did what we had to do, but we are still best friends and we still love each other. And I would not have done what I did for a fling or a booty call or whatever. I mean, Tyrone asked me directly, he said, make sure it's real. I mean, for me, it is real. Yeah, it's real. So that's not in defense of my relationship with Chris. That's just saying that this is about more than this community and more than weight loss surgery. You know, this is my real life. You don't have to agree with the personal decisions I make, but I hope that people still feel like I have something positive to, you know, give to the community about weight loss surgery. This is not about weight loss surgery. This is just about life and love and all those wonderful things. So
Yeah, and I think this is getting out of the way so everybody can go back to focusing on weight loss surgery and the things that have to deal with that. So you, Gooch, Will, Phil, myself, whoever, everybody involved can just go back to what's important to the community, and that's weight loss surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So you're good? Anything else?
That's it. I'm good.
Okay. Will, are you still on? I saw you froze up, buddy.
Damn it.
Oh,
There he goes.
He dropped. So Phil, you go ahead. What is there anything you want to say you know, kind of connecting to all this?
I mean, I'll just speak for the folks that say, look, it's none of our business per se. It's nice that you shared it, but you know, don't feel obligated to. I mean, you shouldn't feel obligated to tell everybody. I don't know why it has to be public per se. I get it. The whole rumor thing is a pain in the ass. I've had to deal with it. Tyrone, well, TJ's had to deal with it. I'm sure your brother's told you plenty, Tyrone. And you guys have had to deal with it. And then for, you know, it's kind of become a reality for you guys. I mean, that kind of makes it interesting in and of itself. But you know, you don't owe anybody anything is my point, so I'll just leave it at that.
All right. And I guess for me, I'm all sweaty and shit because it's like 900 degrees here. But, you know, for me, I mean, that there's the Tyrone persona. There's the TJ thing. And really, ultimately, I am happily married. I'm good to go. And I really don't have anything to say on my relationship. But, I mean, we've had our tests. We've had our time. And we're working on it in private, and you know, hopefully Jenny keeps me around for a long time to be, but you know, that's just kind of my take on it. Unfortunately, Will fucking disappeared, and I re-invited him. Oh, there he is.
There with Sarah.
Yeah, be there with Sarah. That probably works out best. So what I'm gonna do is I'm focusing on you, Will. So I want you to go ahead, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful because I really gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna step away, but I have you on focus. So you say everything you want to say. So if somebody comes to you and says, "Will, blah blah blah," you can refer them back to this. So go ahead.
All right. So I've said my piece in a previous video about what I've done in the past, my goal video to Sarah, and all of that, and I've said. I will continue to say more, and if you really want to know what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling about all of this as it relates to my relationship with Sarah and how it relates to weight loss surgery, then continue to watch my video, and that's not just a plug, it's just a fact. I will not talk about specific things about our relationship that do not involve weight loss surgery, but let me say this now. I'm okay. If I could have picked somebody for Sarah, it would have been Chris. And I don't say that as somebody who would blow smoke and bullshit. I have dealt with the fact that I have lied to myself about my own emotions over the last little while. And I have dealt with that. I have seen what that does to me, and I have accepted it, and I have moved on to it. I can deal with my emotions, and my emotions are settled. You don't know, and you can't know how okay I am with this. If you were to see as an individual, as a person, the conversations that Chris and Sarah and I have, the jokes we tell at each other's expense, the laughter that we actually have, the joy we take in making the third party uncomfortable because it's kind of funny. We are sick and twisted like that, and honestly, it is a healthy thing. We make jokes. We laugh. But it doesn't mean that we're trying to hide or break our feelings about this. I am okay. I love Sarah. I love Chris. My job, as it stands right now, is to allow Sarah and to make Sarah as wholesome as she can be so that she can have a relationship going forward that is healthy and good for her. Sarah and I had a wonderful relationship. It is now over. We had things that we have done that have allowed us to heal. We were right for each other at the right time. We have 2 wonderful boys. And the only way that we can honor our relationship and honor ourselves and honor them is by growing and becoming better people. By allowing ourselves and doing what it is that we need to do to get better. I am a lot luckier than Sarah. I don't have to deal with the cruft and the bullshit of a new relationship. I can take the time to heal myself. Sarah, unfortunately, has to do that, but also deal with a new relationship, which is good and bad and sucky all at the same time. And also difficult and wonderful.
And the state rests, Your Honor.
I don't have jealousy. Let's be very clear. I'm not jealous of Sarah and Chris. I'm envious of what they have. I'm envious of what they have because I'm envious of anybody that is in love with each other. And that doesn't cause hurt. That causes a wistful sadness that it isn't me, absolutely, but I will be fine. And I am happy for the 2 of them.
And you do have me as a wingman.
I do have you as a wingman. And honestly, you know, there's a joke that said that Chris needed a T-shirt that his wife has a his wife has a boyfriend, his girlfriend has a husband.
Yeah, I was good till you said that. Yeah, you could have stopped right before that. And it's still been okay.
All right, so Will, am I going to be on your live show?
I would like so a little plug here. Now that I haven't plugged it, I'm going to plug it. I'm going to start doing +1 shows, live shows, kind of like Fat Kings and Size Queens. I don't know what we're going to call it, +1 members.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Actually, I have a question for Will.
Christopher.
Now that Sarah and I are together, does that mean I'm a +1 so I can join the +1 crew?
No, because Waffle is not a
WLS patient. You're a WLS patient.
But I am also a +1, so that's goddamn discrimination.
So is Sarah. You know what?
It's discrimination, but that's the way it is.
You have a whole stomach. Are you a normie? No. Then
You're not a normie.
Not for you.
But here's the deal: is that here's the thing: is that I secured first fucking guest, motherfucker. So even though I'm a WLS, I get to be on there, right? With Penny. Oh well,
Penny.
Jenny.
Well, I mean, it's Tyrone and Penny Lane. I mean, let's be very clear.
Yeah.
All the vodka's gone.
All the vodka.
I have had a lot of whiskey.
Oh, you drank whole vodka?
Well, no, there's still like that much left.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like Phil with cold the
Here's my problem with that is that you guys are drinking that shit and you got fucking Grey Goose as a Canadian fucking vodka. What are you doing?
Yeah, but Grey Goose is just straight vodka. This actually has flavor. And the fact of the matter is that the Grey Goose bottle is worth more than the content.
Yeah, well, I mean, vodka has flavor. It's vodka flavor.
All right, that's enough of this nonsense.
All right, Phil, call it.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing you, Will, on whatever your show ends up being called.
+1
I'll be there for +1 members, and then and Phil, take us out of the marathon, fucking Fat Kings.
Oh, welcome to Fat Kings Friday. Thanks for tuning in. I'd like to go kill myself now. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back at you on Tuesday with Phase 2 shit. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know when Tyrone's coming back at you, but you never know. At least with his
Back to Basics will be tomorrow.
Back to Basics, exactly. Contribution to Back to Basics tomorrow. So you'll see me Tuesday. You'll see Tyrone tomorrow, and then until then, I'm gonna go try and figure out why the fuck it's good to be the king.